Hey, it's me, Jesse C. There are over 7,000 mods for Baldur's Gate 3, and I've checked them all. My eyes are like scrambled eggs. It's a really impressive number. I mean, the main page of Nexus Mods sorts all the games it hosts by sheer number of mods, and BG3 is all the way on the top, alongside other heavy hitters like Bethesda's games. So, let's see what the trends in the community are, its idiosyncrasies, its problems, and more practically, which mods are worth your time and which are just plain f***ing weird. And oh boy, there is a lot of those. But before we begin though, I'm going to do some jokes and even poke fun at times, but by God, don't take it seriously. Mods are free and made for the sake of fun and passion. Respect modders, please. Don't be a gamer. Now, give me a second to rant at you about how stupid the idea for this video is, because curating the mods was, to say the least, an experience. I don't think I've ever looked at so many dicks. So many dicks. Yo, there are more dicks than boobs, which is surprising, coming from the Bethesda modding scene. We have angry inch, larger penis with flopping physics, penis armor, hung like a minotaur, bago dicks, bigger floppy physics, big jiggly girl cock, growth, pride of the orcs, Halsin's huge dong, better female penises, succubus's huge ultra bulge for gigashads only, unwieldy gnome cock, double dicks for dragonborn, stallion power, pencil dick, monsters meat, furry cocks, draconian endowment, half-orc male knee swinger, bouncy bat standalone, thick meaty uncut lady dunk, larger vanilla dragonborn package, and Sasha's lemons. Sahaja's lemons, I don't know. Bring out your dicks, bring out your dicks. Ah, this one isn't a dick, it's a salami. No, I promise, I'm a dick. I piss on the floor and I don't lower the toilet lid. That's not how that joke goes. What am I doing? God, never mind, it was dumb anyways. Bored of the tiny penis the game gives you? Yo, those were tiny? Man, I'm fucked. There are also so many repeat mods that do seemingly the same very specific thing. Shoe dresses made out of tentacles? 2 different mods to Pence Raphael? Like 6 different Thor-related mods? I don't even know how to explain this one. 3 mods that remove the narrator's voice? Which, I guess being wrong is not illegal, so okay. There are so many Fat Dragon mods. And I don't think some of those are just for customization. There's a few Salami mods, which is probably because of that one video, but still, I'm jealous. I want people to make mods because of my videos too. The naming conventions are also, here, check this out. Karlak is Bay. That's the title. Now you tell me what kind of mod this is. It's a shader. We have some other oddities as well, like calling Gortash by his full name, like the mods are his mom. Curly hair for Amber Gortash, Malfoy. Gortash face replacer. Amber Gortash, come here, come get your dinner, it's your mother. Honestly, I get it. Gortash definitely has big mama's boy energy. By the way, why so many beauty mods for Gortash? He is perfect. His review is like the review of every cult leader in every documentary ever. People keep building him up, talking about how charismatic he is, then you see him, and he's just some greasy dude. I also had to deal with descriptions like add infernal, draconic, hell, whatever script. And nothing like giving up halfway for your description and just saying, I don't know, look at the pictures, you have eyes, you're clearly reading this, what kind of script do you think this is? But the madness doesn't stop there. It's everywhere you look. Testicle Thor shit? The Emperor has no shoes. The Emperor now takes his boots off during his moment scene. This one's for all the xenofeet people out there. Okay, xenofeet lovers are a thing, I guess. I didn't know that. Shield mechanics overhaul. Do you also wonder what logic it has for your shield to give you evasion instead of protecting you from damage? I don't think you know what AC is supposed to be. Canonical Shadowheart, which by definition it's not true, in-world AI.
Hey, Shadowheart, can you hear me?
With a twitch of the tadpole, a subtle vibration cascades. Indeed, the weave of sound reaches me.
Wow, the future is now and it sucks. BFA, save the place, you're now a social ace. Is that? No, wait, actually that's a dope phrase. Balenciaga Jury? No, actually that's a really clever one too. This f***ing thing. Rats, we're the rats. Trickery domain overhaul makes Edgefart happy. Plus UI books. With this picture, Faerun Dental Care, realistic better armor, realistic helmets. These are these mods with better and supposedly more realistic equipment, but all they do is change the stats to something else. And I get where they're coming from, but it seems like they're naively ignoring the fact that the game is balanced around stuff like that. And just changing things willy-nilly is not conductive to a balanced and good game. Arcane recovery, usable in combat. Oh sure, let me just rest during combat! Better kitchen sink. My goal is to craft a vanilla plus experience that's fun and engaging. Plan our ally Deva summons a female Deva. Do you people know what better means? Dark Arch Origin and Origin, but not really Origin. This is truly maddening. And after looking at all these mods, I'm also now convinced that Big Beauty Care is using the community to do a psyop to sell you more face moving cream! Listen to Sloppy Seconds by Watsky. I know it sounds like a joke, but this song is very appropriate to these mods. Okay, I gotta stop this before my head blows up. Let's start actually reviewing the damn mods. Now I love Skelly Boys, Skelly Bones, spooky kooky skeletons send shivers down my spine. And luckily, there's actually a couple mods to make them playable. The most feature complete, polished, and maintained, however, is Ghastly Ghouls. Ghastly Ghouls does require a lot of requirement mods, which are all common requirements for nearly all other mods in this list, so it's good to get them out of the way now and just leave them in our load order. We'll need CC patches, main mod and the side one for the head VFX, stripped shader, improved UI, which out of all of these is one that's worthwhile to have just on its own, and tag framework, which also needs community resources. Oh, the joys of modding. Ghastly Ghouls adds an undead race. In lieu of then implementing sub-races of undead for each race the game already has, it instead allows you to pick 2 origins out of this list. The list has options for each base game race and the respective homes. So if you want to be an undead drow, for example, you can pick Seldarine or Loathsworn, then pick the Underdark origin. You could possibly also pick 2 homes or 2 races too, if you want to get weird about it. Why not? I mean, maybe you traveled a lot or you have mixed heritage. Go nuts. The undead race, regardless of sub-race, also has visual options for each race listed, so you can match what you picked. The only races excluded from all this are the Dragonborn and short races. As always, they just keep being left behind by the modding community, man. Sad stuff. Now, our actual sub-races are Lich, Ghoul, Mummy, and White, each with flavorful scaling abilities in somewhat different bodies. Though all of them can be Skelly Boys if you want. What? With the Lich, you can choose the type of phylactery you use even, gain resistance and extra spells corresponding to the respective damage type of your phylactery. Ghouls gain extra damage abilities and the ability to consume corpses to heal themselves. Whites gain something like a Hunter's Mark and can raise other half-whites. Mummies have a higher base AC due to their magical bandages, which should be great for monks and barbarians by the way. Later on, you also gain a ritual to place one of your organs to a canopic jar, and receive a great passive benefit depending on which one you choose. I love this so much. God, there's even more to this mod, but these are the basics. In terms of balance, I think the race is a bit too overloaded. All the resistances and abilities and immunities you can get, up to 3 if you're a Lich, are a bit much. But it's not too busted. I certainly have seen worse, and you will see too as we keep going. Ulitherate, playable Mind Flayer's race. Not sure the game still makes sense with you as a Mind Flayer, but hey, if Omelin can rebel, why not you? There's not much to customize appearance-wise. You can choose your robes and eyes, but that's about it. You do get some extra customization in the Psionic Powers feat you get. That feat essentially allows you to initially pick 2 Illithid powers, and then more as you level up. Yummy! Alternatively, if being a 24/7 brain eater is not what you want, you can get Mind Flayer's Metamorphosis to instead get the ability to become a Mind Flayer, alongside some cool gear and spells. Slay? More like flay. I hate myself. Now these following mods are cool in concept, but don't work great. Not even because of the modder's fault, just because they're kind of a tall order. First off, playable ogre. The days of inherently evil or good sapient species are behind us, so grab this mod and prove that ogres can be cool without the Absolute's control. I'm here, hello! The only thing you can really customize on this one is the different faces of the feminine ogre, and that's about it. The ogre race also comes with a feature that adds 1d6 extra damage. Pretty strong. But seriously, aside from some giggles, this race is,
Darling?
I'm eclipsing the sun. Oh god! Just too buggy and too much of a mess to really use. It's time to get a mushroom person to save the world! Oh my god, were those eyes? Oh, I have eyes! You can choose between all the different Myconid bodies, you gain 1 free cantrip, and choose spells that are all thematically related to mushrooms, meaning they're related to the concepts of tripping balls and acid. And, oh Jesus Christ, you can summon haste spores as a bonus action? Oh yeah, no, this is totally okay. Owlins are a race in the Strixhaven module, so why not in BG3? Well, it's because they have creepy animal faces that freak me the f out. Oh, don't kiss the beak. Owlins can fly and have two sub-races that just differ in the color of their feathers. The customization is also very confusing to me. You can change the color of the eyes, talons, and skin, but some colors change the scales but not the skin, and sometimes only the skin and not the scales, making it kind of impossible to actually get what you want. It also messes up with some Dragonborn colors appearing in other places, so overall, definitely a work in progress mod. Use it if you want to, but you know, still cool. Playable direwolf does, you get it. We can customize our fur and eyes, not much more than that, but even just that is pretty cool. Oh god, what is that? That is atrocious! Now, as a non-humanoid race, it's going to look as goofy and wrong as you expect.
Soldier.
But counterpoint? Doggo! You get some nice features and some abilities to use during combat, one of which might be way too strong. I mean, a free crit, jeez. Now, if wolves are not quite your speed, how about something more fantastical? Displacer player race is, interesting. This was made just for the mod author, so it comes some kind of backstory which ties into the abilities. There's some demon stuff and some random people that appear, and I don't get it. It's not like the mod description even has a lore blurb or anything, so this kind of gets in the way if you just want to be kidding. The abilities you get are also pretty broken, as are the passive features, and of course, every conversation animation as a Nightcrawler kitty cat is going to be busted. The customization is very minimal, just body and eye stuff, so keep all that in mind if you want this one. What's the best race? Well, the best race is the one that can change into all other races, of course. Changelings are amazing and have been the paragons of shenanigans since the great Rupertson. Now, there's not a lot of customization for the changelings. You have some very appropriate cool faces, both feminine and masculine. As cool as the heads are though, they do have some limitations, like the fact that you can't use piercings and that the beards just sink into your face. The changeling comes with the classic Fey ancestry feature, so resistance to charm, and an ingrained disguise self ability, obviously. The thing is, this disguise self actually kind of works a bit differently, and is the real treat of this mod. It changes as you level up, eventually allowing you to transform into the game's NPCs. It's so freaking cool, and the transformation do keep your changed eyes, which I love. It feels like such a neat little detail that being a mystery novel, and it's how the protagonist would end up catching the changeling or something. I love it. Flutter and Whimsy fairy race. Elves not fairy enough for you? Well, what about actual fairies? Realize your inner little girl's dream of becoming part of the Winx Club and murder your enemies while fluttering beautifully on your fairy wings! This one requires the usual selection of mods, plus one called Human Tag Fix, which is explicitly only so custom races without the humanoid tag can still patch scratch. A worthy reason to sacrifice space in mod manager, methinks. The customization is about the same as it is for the other races, with many faces to choose from, and the option to have the short race body via the body options. Oh, it can be a short race fairy? That's awesome. I really love that, such a clever use of that system. The eyes have this cool glittery effect, and the hands and face have this cool gradient that changes based on your wings color, of which you can have two, apparently. Or maybe this is nothing that is supposed to happen and it's just a conflict of the mods I have. I am not sure if it's intentional or not. Oh, the joys of modding. The fairies get Druidcraft, which does some bullshit and doesn't do bullshit sometimes. The Flutter feature, which lets you fly to a place once per long rest, until level 7 when it becomes infinite. Mad respect to the author for not immediately just giving them fly. And the Tinify spell, which is, well, I love it so much. Once per short rest, you can become teeny tiny. What the hell? I became someone else for a second. You cannot spellcast, and your damage is limited to 1, but in return, you gain flight, your AC increases, and you can get into small spaces. Actually balanced, cool, flavorful, and just plain fun. I love the Tinify spell. Oh my god, it's the world's tiniest violin. Furbolgs in D&D have come a long way since the old days of yore, when they were just bad guy minions in Darkwalker on Moonshae. Now they are a popular and appreciated species, probably mostly due to Matt Mercer. So it only follows that we now have forest friends to add these cuties to the game. Furbolgs have custom appearances, being big and having unique faces with cute ears and noses. For features, they have their classic hidden step invisibility, and that's it! A well-made, balanced mod, simple and not overloaded with stuff. It just works, baby. Now you can be a devil. I don't understand why this exists when tieflings exist. It just reminds me of Will becoming a devil and despairing. Meanwhile, I'm just like, bro, chill, you're just a tiefling now. It's not that bad. I am told some of them are even good. They come with wings and fly immediately, the 3 unique faces of the champions already in the game, and an unconditional plus shooter AC. Hey, we have the devils, where are the angels at? Oh, There. This mod is on par with Ghastly Ghouls. High effort stuff. Whispers of the Divine adds the ASMR race. They do come with wings and you can choose if you want them right away or if you want them as you level up. Finally, some respect for balancing. I appreciate it. We can also, much like in Ghastly Ghouls, choose where our characters used to be before being an ASMR. If they didn't come directly from the sky, of course. There's also tons of custom appearance stuff. Custom body textures and cracks, glowing eyes, halos, wings, more glowy stuff, and a bunch of heads. Some options, like the wings, are also unique for each subrace. Oh yeah, didn't I mention that? We have 4 different flavors of angel here, fitting different vibes and even combat roles. Each subrace starts with unique minor abilities, then unlocking later one big, kinda broken ultimate ability.
Protect thy friends, save the heavens.
Protector ASMR are guardian angels. They can support the party by reducing incoming damage and their ultimate constantly heals allies around them.
Heaven has fury.
Scourge ASMR are envy angels. They can buff ally attacks and their ultimate makes them fly, deal more damage, and cause enemies around them to make saves or take damage.
Have no fear, child.
Harbinger ASMR are edgy Jesus angels. I'm not joking, they're all about suffering for other sins and carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. When they say stuff like,
"Oh, my life is suffering,"
they aren't being moody, they are right, and they turn that pain into power. They can use HP to boost allies, and their ultimate gives them flight, a buff, and an AoE debuff for enemies if they fail a save.
The heavens have cast thee out, for thou hast been naughty.
The Fallen ASMR are the other flavor of edgy angel. They can make enemies that attack someone roll a save or get feared, and their ultimate is pretty much the same as the Scourge, but with necrotic and, fear. Admit it, you've always wanted to be a sexy nymph. Dream no more and get Heart of the Forest, playable Dryad race. Since Dryads are tied to the tree they come from, this race comes with a magical acorn that keeps your connection to your tree alive. Seriously, don't lose it. Dryads progressively gain more nature-based spells as they level up. Aside from two new hairstyles, their appearance is nothing new. The faces are a mix of half and half-elf faces. The bodies are your standard humanoid ones, but they do have some cool markings. In-game, you also get this cool leaf storm effect surrounding you. We have one subrace themed around each season, and each one has, and I'm only pointing this out because the mod page itself did, custom leaf underwear that matches the Dryad season. Now be honest, did you think this video would have a Dryad lingerie show? Because I sure didn't. The mod does have race tags, except they are just renamed wood elf tags, which work, I guess. What else can you do with the limitations the mods have, right? Secret of the Serpent, playable Yuan-Ti. It's mostly a remix of stuff already in the game, a human with snake eyes and the Dragon Sorcerer bloodline scales. But it's not like the actual Yuan-Ti are that different from humans anyway, so if you like them, this is right up your alley. Yuan-Tis get resistance to poison with advantage on saving throws against it and magical effects. But the race is not all. We also get some cool thematic equipment with stats that should make your fit less longer than most initial gear. Cool little mod. Like elves? Would you like to be an elfier elf? Then get Spirited Seasons playable Fey Eladrin. Although they are pretty much elves, the mod does make an effort to set them visually apart. We have stark magical eyes, glittery and glowy, unique heads with Fey markings and taller elf ears, and optional metallic tattoos. For feats, we get our standard elf stuff, plus an appropriate cool Fey step, which is a flavored misty step that comes back with short rests. If that's not enough, you can also download the Eladrin equipment, which are IMO a mixed bag. Some look great, some not. The crowns are very cool though. Okay, so we had elemental elves. How about elemental humans? Here's elemental power playable Genasi. Each Genasi comes with an appropriate elemental cantrip, but it's only the Earth Genasi that comes with a cool feat. They are unimpeded by difficult terrain. In terms of appearance, it is only the Water Genasi that has something special in the form of their fin ear thingies. They look pretty dope. I wish they'd given the Earth Genasi skin a rocky texture or something. Okay, this one was just too funny not to mention. We have a mod called Luck of Faerun that adds a leprechaun race with a feat called Taste the Rainbow. Listen, goblins are cool, be it Knock Knock or Not the Brave, technically. That fact, combined with the fact that they already even have a bunch of mottos in-game, makes it an absurdity that they aren't even playable. But unless you have a severe case of short-term memory loss, you know where this is going. Whispers of the Fae Goblins race adds our little green friends. They have the awesome Nimble Escape feat and come in two flavors of subraces, the usual green and the dank yellow. The former is the more vicious goblins we meet in the game, with the classic and beloved Fury of the Small feat, while the latter is a more peaceful artistic type that comes with a squirrel friend that levels up with you. More on this guy later, since there's a separate mod for them to be used with any race. In terms of appearance, we have a few heads for each gender representation, each with a young version and a wrinklier version. I hope they add more heads in the future. These aren't all the ones in the game, but maybe the other ones are impossible for whatever reason. I mean, beards are barely hanging off the current heads. Oh, also, by the way, they actually have custom tags? I'm not sure how this was done, probably by altering other races' tags, but you can generally use your goblin identity to help you in the goblin camp on Act 1. Warlords of the Coast is one of the top-notch mods in this list. It was made by an entire team and it really shows. It's incredible, it has a hobgoblin race with 4 sub-races. We have your standard hobgoblins, aquatic ones that serve the Lord of the Krakens, fey bodyguards, and dragon underlings, each with its own unique bodies, faces, eyes, and also abilities that fit with each's lore. And the hobgoblins as a whole have many different abilities that you unlock as you level up. You can even get to the point where you can summon your own goblin unit. Some stuff here is a bit too strong, but at this point, is anyone surprised? I wish I could talk more in depth about this one, but this is a way later addition to this list, so go check it out yourself. It's really worth it. For the person who asked for this mod, you ask and you shall receive. Wine and Revelry adds a satyr race. Their appearance is awesome. We get unique bestial heads with selectable ear types, horns, tails, and those long, furry legs. I see why it's your favorite mod, Archie. I mean, the amount of customization options here, down to the tiniest details, are actually quite impressive. This is definitely one of the best race mods featured here. For feats, they get the very cool Mirthful Leap, which should feel right at home in BG3's encounter/gameplay design. They also get a ram attack and the ability to summon an instrument because fun. The author has done some work to get quite a few armors to work with the legs, but there are still some armors that don't, so watch out for that. To avoid the Donald Duck type problem where the groins are that of smooth candles one moment and there being a surprise the next, satyr spawn with a loincloth. The things you have to consider in a game with genitals. Hear me out, Flynn. Would you? Wait, that sounds weird. Not that I wouldn't absolutely ask that question in Smash. It's just not what I meant. I meant it more in like a, would you like to be like her way. Let me put it this way. Nose. Yay or nay? The answer is yay. So get plus races no right now. This boring ass title just made me realize that most mods so far had really cool titles. Nose are some tall gangly motherfuckers here. But unlike some of the other more monstrous races, they actually work kinda well. Attacks are fine, resting is fine, more personal interactions get a bit weird. Oh god, what are we doing? It's in broad daylight, no! Nose have a bunch of sub-races that have a number of feats and attribute changes to suit certain playstyles or character ideas. For example, there's a cousin race of Nose that is a sub-race that is far more charismatic and less bloodthirsty than your usual Nose. And then there's a sub-race that is more bloodthirsty, etc. In terms of customization, we can change eye and body color and choose between 4 bodies with different attires. And we actually do have different hairstyles too. I accidentally made Blanca here. Hello Jimmy, how are you? Godkin? I've never heard of this race, but still, there was a lot of effort making this. The Godkin are made from shards of divinity, so their sub-races are separated in concepts like war and protection and the elements. Oh, they also have a custom appearance. Let's take a look. Oh god! Ew! Ew! What is that? Why? The wolf kind. Don't remember these guys either, but let's see. They are humanoid wolf descendants or something. There's 3 sub-races with some simple abilities that aren't that strong. Okay, I like this so far. Let's see the custom- Oh god, no! Again, why? Oh, Teen Wolf looking ass. Ugh, I hate werewolves without proper snouts. They look so horrible, ugh. All joking aside, these guys kinda grew on me. They look a bit goofy and don't even get me started on this face. But hey, kinda works. There's no gender options, only the true singular choice we must all make. To swole or not to swole. Fizzbun's Treasury of Dragons gets some of those 5e sub-races in with the Gem Dragons. More like Bling Dragons though, you know what I'm saying? Oh boy, that's horrible. Each sub-race is a new breath type and 3 awesome shiny colors. At level 5, you also unlock the Gem Flight ability. I really wanted to have some crystal wings or something, but I guess I was too hopeful. There's also some optional adjustments to the breath ability ported from the TTRPG that might interest you here too. To complete the presence of the Bling Dragons in your game, you might also want to grab the Descendants of the Gem Dragons mod that adds Gem Dragons as sorceress bloodlines. Still talking about sub-races for standard races, then how about some tieflings? Astraletes' Stifling Companion adds a number of them, and quite a few super interesting ones. I won't go over all of them, but if you are tired of Asmodeus, Mammon, and Macaron, or whatever, then you are going to be really happy. Here's my favorites. Illamshane? Oh boy, we're going with that. Descendants from the Spider Queen with a bunch of spider abilities like shapeshifting and summoning our many-legged sisters. To even further make the Cambion mod redundant, we also have winged tieflings. Look at this, it's so cool. Whatever sub-race you pick, they all come with interesting different starting cantrips and feats that really speak to their origin and are awesome for roleplay stuff. Also for Astralides, there's a collection of extra elf kinda homebrew sub-races too. Let's be honest, the elf market is oversaturated, so I'll only mention it. So let's end the race section. That sounds weird, race section. So let's end the race segment. It also sounds weird. Let's end the segment about the species. Now it sounds too biological. Let's end this segment with one mod that doesn't add one individual races, but many. As many races as we've seen, there's still quite a few D&D ones left. Fantastical Multiverse takes a more shotgun approach by adding as many races as it can from lots of D&D books. The downside of this is that none of them have the amount of care or visual customization that we have seen from the other mods. The focus is mostly just porting over the gameplay from tabletop with minimal visual accuracy. Still, we do get kobolds and minotaur races, which is a plus for me. That's it for the races. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. There actually aren't that many modded classes. There's a bunch of tweaks to existing classes, and some new subclasses, but mostly a lot of imported stuff from the D&D books, from the 5e supplements and 1D&D stuff. I'm mostly going to be looking at new stuff, because that's what interests me the most, but we will be looking at some imported stuff from the tabletop. Still, you should know, if there is stuff from the tabletop you like, it most likely has already been ported to the game. You just need to look for it. The truth is out there. Okay, so to start off, we have the mutant class. Maybe this is the X-Men 97 brain rot at work, but this mod makes me so hopeful that at some point, somebody's going to use mod and tools to make the dream X-Men RPG we've all been waiting for. I know that's a lot of stupid words trying to get in an impossible sentence, but the mutant class is set up around X genes you acquire as you level up, all themed after actual X-Men and their powers. You can acquire up to 5 of them on your way to level 12. Some of them include Ace Gambit, which charges anything you throw with explosive kinetic energy. Wait, no, it didn't work. Huh, even though the passive is toggled. This is actually not the only thing in this mod that didn't work, so do beware. Things might be bugged. Domino effect, which gives you permanent guidance that is always a 4, and the uncanny dodge ability. This is massively broken, and I love it because that power is actually bullshit and broken. Toxic Toad increases your jump distance, makes it deal damage, and you ignore fall damage. Finally, you can make lae'zel into a real toad, beautiful and twice as jumpy. Forge's Vision gives you a mechanical ally. Shadow Crawler lets you teleport as a bonus action. Golden Jubilee lets you make fireworks, also explosions that get stronger for your level.
Recall that in time, all becomes dust.
Adaptability, I love a lot. It gives you resistance to the last damage type you receive, which is a very cool mechanic. Kitty Phase makes you invisible. I feel like a gas form would make more sense in terms of what their power does, but sure, I get it. And then there's Juggernaut, which isn't a mutant and shouldn't be here. His power comes from the Chrism Gem of Cyterac, dude. I didn't get all those wedgies in high school to get my Valor stolen by a faker. This is a standard charisma spellcasting class, but the author tried to stick to spells and cantrips that felt like superpowers. You will not be casting spells where you pray to the gods to heal your allies, infuse a weapon with magic, or summon demons. I take exception to this phrase. I would be a dick here and say that, Gambit can essentially infuse people's weapons with his power, and magic can summon demons. But hey, I get what they're trying to say, and I appreciate it. The author also managed to differentiate this class a bit from other spellcasters with the first class feat you get, X-Gene, which means since your spells are innate mutations, you don't use verbal components. Silence doesn't work on you. Okay, I guess we're ignoring Banshee now, which is weird because one of the passives directly mentions them, but sure. You also get 2 more class feats as we level up, I mentioned Skeleton and Cerebro, which again bothers me because they're not mutations, but I'm sure the author knew that. I can't help myself. I think I'm starting to understand why I got all those wedgies. The Adamantium gives you HP and Constitution, and Cerebro gives you Expertise and Insight. Finally, at level 12, we go full Jean Grey, acquiring the Phoenix Force. We can choose between 3 variations of it, Fallen, Flaming, and Darkness, which all do very specific and honestly underwhelming things. You gain a spell slot by killing an enemy, you squirt a cloud of darkness when you're dying, like a fucking squid, etc. For once, I'm actually honestly disappointed that these aren't more broken. Come on, it's the Phoenix! The Phoenix 5 literally made Utopia with its power. You gotta get me something better than Squid Ink. By the way, the class dialogue is from the Bard. It's a great mod. I just love seeing the passion other fans have when making stuff like this. You know, I almost didn't review this mod, but then I saw this comment. Well, cool idea, but bad implementation. Glad you aren't a dev of any RPG, smiley face. F you. For example, you have this class called Smart that's like adding a bunch of spells, and every time you cast a spell you need Idiocracy. Also, don't tie a class to its own class when there are a lot of freedom in this game. You just constrained us to something on a game that is all about freedom. So weird, man. No, you're weird for thinking any of this is good feedback. P.S. I'm coming from Succubus' new class. Of course you are. Didn't even goddamn proofread your comment and you're acting all high and mighty. After seeing this shit of an example of feedback, I decided to give some of my own. So here we go. The Soul Reaper comes with 3 subclasses, 3 scythe weapons, and a bunch of class feats and spells. The scythes have many abilities that are unlocked as you level up, which is great, which means you don't have to get rid of this weapon, which would be a shame because it looks cool as fuck. These effects, however, do not fit the design of the rest of the game's spells, feats, weapons, etc. They feel more appropriate for an MMO rather than a tabletop-inspired game. There's a lot of percentage chances, which I know, dices are all percentages anyway, so what's the matter? Consistency, for one, but also, take this for example. This feels like it should be a save, right? If you make it into one, you also don't have to increase the chance manually like that, since it will increase with proficiencies and attributes naturally. It also inherently makes it more balanced because it will interact with enemy defenses. Also, Crit 18 level 3 is insane! Moving on, we have 3 subclasses. The Destroyer is straightforward, stealing the souls of their enemies to deal tons of damage by harnessing the magical power of their grievances.
Morning, Turner!
Dinkelberg.
Deprivator specializes on dealing status effects and continues escalating damage to enemies while having to continuously consume their souls. Vanguard is a tank that uses absorb damage to enhance abilities, either using them to tank and hold the line, or counterattack viciously. Regardless of which subclass you pick, you have to deal with the class's soul-eating mechanic. A bunch of abilities you have will earn you soul morns, that can then be used to cast other abilities. It's a cool edgy class with a unique mechanic, and although it doesn't fit completely into the game, it's definitely a change of pace some people might welcome. Also, the sides look sick! Live your childhood dreams by becoming a Z-Warrior yourself. Increasingly ridiculous escalating world-destroying enemies not included. Okay, so we have 3 Dragon Ball Z class mods. Ki Warrior, Ancient Saiyan Warrior, the mod formerly known as Saiyan class mod, and Dragon Ball Warrior. We'll be looking at Dragon Ball Warrior because it's the most recent and, honestly, no shade to the other mods, the best one in my opinion. Like, even if you aren't a Dragon Ball Z fan, the class mechanics are so interesting here that there might be something for you here anyways. Though if you want something that somehow jams DBZ stuff into the lore of Faerun, you might actually want to get the Ancient Saiyan Warrior mod, the mod formerly known as Saiyan class mod. In a way that reminds me of Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Warrior actually makes classes out of all the racial options from the Dragon Ball universe. We have the Nameless Namekian, Saiyan Elite, Frieza Clan Mutant, Time Lord, and Android Alpha. Also the eponymous Z-Fighter. For each, the mod also recommends a race to match. You know, I didn't even think of this, but Gift for Namekian and Tiefling for Frieza Clan actually really does work a lot. Very clever. The author also mentions the mod was tuned for higher difficulties, which I'm guessing means it's kind of broken, so keep that in mind. Keeping in line with the martial arts of Dragon Ball, all classes were designed for unarmed punchery. They're also all structured around the energy resource mechanic. Why it's not called ki is beyond me. All your attacks and abilities utilize energy. Generally, you want to build up energy for the big ki blast attacks, which brings us to something no Dragon Ball fight can do without, powering up. So you're really going to have to buckle up and scream your heart out to get there. You have 2 boost abilities that give you energy at different amounts. 1 bonus, 1 full action. And this is where the strategy comes in. You can use your full action to do a strong punch and then do a quick energy boost so you can start building up your energy for big ki attacks. You can use your bonus action for a light punch to do minimal damage and then use your full action for a big energy boost to really get to that big ki attack you want. And if the fight's going south and you need a ki attack now and you can't build to the big ki attack you want, you can just do one of the small ones. That kind of strategy is what I really like about this class. It's a slow burn, but there's a lot of options and paths you can choose depending on how things are going. Enemies hit by ki blasts do get to make a save to halve the damage on purpose, so keep that in mind. Don't go big expecting the fight to be over just to be left with your bulging muscles hanging out like a fool, Vegeta. All this gives energy a completely different feel to using ki points as a monk. Oh! Yeah, key points. The monks already used that term, that's why they didn't. Okay, I see it. Additionally, key blasts aren't spells, so no counterspell or verbal components despite all the shouting you need to do. And there are also creative utility abilities here aside from just attacks, like bracing, which stops you from moving or being moved and gives you resistance, or the fly ability. These classes come with the barbarian, wizard, and monk dialogue options, which, yeah, no, that makes sense. Maybe not the wizard one, but the other two for sure. Not going to go through all the abilities, but there's a bunch and all your favorites are here. For everyone, you get the standard stuff I mentioned earlier, plus instant transmission, and if you get the other mod that lets you get to 20, you also get an awesome ability that's pretty much what I wanted the Phoenix Force to be, a Dragon Ball Wish. It's utterly broken and I love it because it lets you choose from a list of wishes done in the series. You can ask to get rich, which gives us an unlimited riches spell that summons a divine intervention chest. We can have our potential unlocked like Gohan, giving us 500 HP and energy. We can become immortal, so we get relentless endurance every turn, which is so fucking good. Or become the strongest, fastest, smartest, which raises the appropriate attributes to 20. For other more normal abilities, we have the special beam cannon, clone and giant size from Mechians. As a Z fighter, you can sense ki to find hidden enemies, you have a limited use of senzu beams that heal everything, Kaioken and a bunch of multipliers of it as you level up, Kamehameha, Destructo Disc, Solar Flare, the f***ing Spirit Bomb, which is an awesome ability because you can actually charge it a bunch of times before actually throwing it. The Saiyan Elite gets Sayaba Man. Jesus Christ, the Sayaba Man look different. I don't remember them being quite so, gruesome. Jesus. Gallic Gun, and of course we have the Super Saiyan, as well as the Super Saiyan 2, and Super Saiyan 3 without the long hair and no eyebrows, sadly. And we even have the God and Legendary versions if you go even further beyond level 12. Big Bang Attack, Final Flash, and there's also Ultra Instinct or whatever super nonsense I fell off after the movies. Frieza has the Death Beam, and the second transformation and a third, both being just a giant form and the Slayer form, which honestly all kind of really do fit the exact vibes of those transformations in the series. Like, it's actually kind of eerie how well they fit. But in golden forms, also black? What the fuck happened to Super? Black form? That just doesn't sound right. Anyways, there's a bunch of stuff with the Time Lord, I'm guessing the Sonic Screwdriver, I didn't look. And the Android Alpha have stuff that you'd expect out of androids, mines, drones, missiles. The mod mentioned transformations like Cell for androids, Imperfect, Perfect, and being able to absorb people, but I didn't find any of that in the game, so I don't know. So much like Cell, the androids actually can use all the other abilities from the other subclasses. Kamehameha is here, Masenko, Special Beam Cannon, Gallic Gun. Yeah, I love this mod. Again, can't help but love the passion of fans, and the whole energy mechanic is actually pretty clever and unique. Again, I think even for people that aren't DBZ fans, there might be something here worth trying out. Are you edgy? Want to be edgier? Then grab the Demon Hunter class. This one is generally very well made. I mean, the Demon Hunter form is really dope, and you get the wings. Like, if you get a tattoo and make a drow, you might as well be an actual Ladari. Out of all the mods in this list, this is the one of the most visual effort. The new spells have custom VFX, there's a custom new weapon, and all you need to look like Mr. I Am My Scars himself. God, I could hear angsty Leon O'Brien talk all day. This is a Spellcaster Martial Mix class. The two key features of the class are the Metamorphosis ability that turns you into a big-ass badass demon, and their unique resource Fury that some spells will give you while others will require it to be used, like the Sofang. Hunters come with two subclasses. Havoc, the offensive one that uses blade and magic to fell their enemies. Get it? Fell. And Vengeance, the defensive one that protects allies and heals themselves as they deal damage. Now, much like the DBZ class, the design of the spells is a bit off, random percentages, things that should be saves aren't, and cooldowns on spells. Again, this feels very MMO coded, which in this case, I guess makes sense. The custom weapon that comes with the class are the Warglaives of Aznath. They are given to you at the start of the game, and they get new abilities as you level up. All in all, cool mod, pick it if you want to be prepared. Our next mod is an adaptation of a homebrew class by Lexi Abbey, the Harlequin. Finally, a class that represents who you truly are, a f***ing clown. They are a bit of a halfway point between a rogue and a bard, taking the dexterity and damage dealing of the former and the social skills and spellcasting of the latter. You get mostly slippery and disruptive spells. That said, you don't get that many spell slots here, so keep that in mind. A unique cool feat you get is Rhythmic Assault, which increases the damage of consecutive hits, so don't miss. Harlequins use different aliases to do specific things so that each alias gathers a reputation. What this means is that in-game you have a disguise spell ability, except each disguise is one of your aliases that comes with a side benefit, like a bonus intimidation or persuasion, etc. This is the kind of marriage between story, gameplay, and roleplay that I love. The class comes with 3 subclasses: Acrobat, Jester, and Torchbearer. Acrobat is all about mobility and making yourself hard to hit. Here's some feats you'll be looking at. Evasive Training is cunning in action without the hide part. Elusive gives you a bonus action that for a turn gets you advantage on dex saves and attacks against you have disadvantage. And Armor of Anonymity can make your Charisma plus 12 be your AC, if that's higher than your normal total. Jesters are all about fear. Lurk in the Shadows gives enemies hit by your sneak attacks the Frightened condition. Witty Banner gives you a stronger version of Vicious Mockery called Hateful Mockery. And finally, Breathless with Fear makes frightened enemies 20 feet from you behave somewhat like they're in a slow spell. Half movement and only a bonus action or full action can be taken, not both. Last up, the Torchbearers focus on fire spells. You get more spells in general alongside a lot of fire spells. The Smolder class feat means fire damage you deal sets enemies ablaze, which means enemies will take some fire damage at the start of their next turn, and eventually you even get fire immunity. Oh, you can use torches and lanterns as finesse weapons. Also, if you want to dress for the job, you can get the P4 Mask Emporium mod. It's a bit rough, but I think it looks cool enough and somewhat fits the vibe here. So there's a deep love for necromancy that I noticed going through the class mods. I saw so many undead themed subclasses. I mean, I get it. Same. So here's a couple of notable ones. Necromancer Warlock's a furrow mod that goes way beyond a lot of class mods even in this list. We get unique Sunbow minions, 30 new spells, new weapons and armors of both the martial and caster variety, giving everyone something to play with. Now, all of that is cool, but nothing we haven't seen before. What we haven't seen before is the story of the class being added to the game via lore books and notes. The story behind the subclass is that you are a cultist under a Dracolich necromancer known as the Dread Overlord. And also mini quests and scavenger hunts where you find bone altars, called Totems of the Necromancer, that will give you new abilities and equipment, with other new equipment spread all throughout the game. It's some great stuff. Now moving on, there's a bunch of stuff to cover when it comes to the abilities. The mod has a lot going on, so I'll just mention the interesting stuff that I saw. You can summon a living claw from a corpse, but eventually you can get 2 from humanoids and 4 from beasts, which I love. Your main and initial class feature is Forbidden Lore, which lets you curse your enemies with, and don't laugh, the Night of the Living Dead status, which means they'll come back as your employees when they die. You know, I just watched those movies recently. Awesome stuff. There's also an Army of the Dead ability later, so the movie references are really popping here. Invoker of Spirits also lets you use the soul of an enemy to increase your AC by 1, or do some other stuff, like, and again, you better not laugh, spook your enemies. And by spook, I mean the status effect spook. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Calling the status effect spook. Level 5 lets you animate the dead, and it also gets you a different feature depending on what pack you chose. Chain gets you Undress, the devil dog, who is later able to summon his own pack of ghost dogs. Blade makes your weapon vampiric, letting you heal from its attacks, if you have Vampiric Touch active. Meanwhile, Tom gets literally the most broken ability in the mod in the game now. Undead Commander Strike lets you use your bonus action to command 5 of your minions to use your reactions to do an attack. This is insane, like actually insane. This is the same mod that said balanced progression as one of its features on the mod description. This is an action economy nuke. It's not even a full action, it's a bonus action you use to command them. As you progress, you gain more and stronger undead minions. After that, there's some more undead stuff, and it keeps going past level 12 if you have the mod for that. Insanely well made mod, high effort, you love to see it. Completely understand why I won mod of the month. Next Necromancer adjacent subclass is Circle of the Blighted Druid, which is actually adapted from the Exandria D&D books. With this subclass, you get the ability to make a blighted patch of land that slows down enemies and makes them take extra damage whenever they take damage for the first time in a turn. Later, when that happens, you can also use your reaction to summon a little evil sapling. Other feats you get are an increased AC while in wild shape, creatures you conjure are immune to necrotic and poison damage and blow up when they die, and if you get a mod to go beyond level 12, you will also get a +2 to AC at level 14. Simple, short stuff, an adaptation for the books. Very cool. There used to be a mod that added the Avatar state from The Last Airbender, but that got removed and only the translation is left. So bienvenidos to the Avatar state. Yeah, oh, never mind. The mod isn't working. Well, this was a bust. But hey, at least I found this cool Avatar tattoo. Get it if you want to play a 4 elements monk. Or if you want people to know where your face is. Either works.
Water. Earth. Fire. Air.
I don't know anything about Hunter x Hunter, aside from the fact that the WoW anime sound effect comes from it. But I thought I'd throw it here for the fans. It has classic spells like Bungee Gum, Bing Bang, Neato People, also in Who Could Forget, Big Bang Impact, Big Bang. Also, there's a song from the anime you can use as battle music. Here. Hey, this is actually kind of a banger. This is actually kind of sick. Have you ever wanted to be a spoiled prince turned shitty king that died to resurrect his wife only for her to come back and kill you for being selfish enough not to just move on? No? Too bad. Here's the Rune King class and his sword straight from Runeterra in the League of Legends. Now you can say things like Isolde! Or Kalista! You're back! The mod was done by someone foreign, so some of the wording is weird, but the mod is solidly made. I won't go through the abilities one by one, but they are all pretty much inspired by Viego's abilities in League, or at the very least they're based around the ideas they represent. Overall, the class centers around the Black Mist resource mechanic. It's somewhat similar to the energy in the Dragon Ball class, or the Soulmorns from the Reaper class. Some abilities needed to be used, some gain it. You start with 6 Black Mist stacks and lose 80% on every long rest. Not sure what the point of that is. You might as well just lose everything. You'll be left with very little and it's not that hard to get back. It just kind of has a side effect of making the player feel a bit bad when they take a long rest in a row or something, because it makes you feel like you're wasting stacks if you haven't fought anyone or anything. Level 1, the Rune King can also summon the Blade of the Rune King. It raises the enemies, it kills as undead. Again, let me repeat that. You can do that level 1. You can raise undead level 1. Crazy. You can then later buff these undead or kill them to heal yourself and get some mist. Besides that, your first and main resource of mist are the 2 abilities from the blade. First is a stab that deals damage and marks the enemy with the mist. The second ability then makes you strike the enemy twice and gain 2 black mist stacks for yourself. You can then spend the mist with abilities that let you dash and stun enemies, become invisible with haste when you're inside the mist, both just like Viego's abilities in League, and you can do a huge amount of damage to a target, which is Viego's ult. Isolde is also a summon, which is awesome. She has some support abilities like healing, but when she dies, you go full or accurate insane and become mad. So, be careful with that. Oh, I went rogue? What's happening? What the? Oh, Crown of Madness. Oh, what is going on? And one of the last abilities you get way high level is the Harrowing, which raises a bunch of undead, all of them with freaking haste. They do die in 2 turns, but that is insane shit, and also kind of a dope idea. I kind of love it. Weirdly specific class, but solid and great stuff. Now, do you want to be a Jedi? Then go play Knights of the Old Republic, you idiot. But fine, if you want to be a Jedi and Ben Karlach, I guess I can help you out. First we need the clothes, then the weapons, then some extra armor just in case the robes don't fit or if you're feeling particularly warlike that day. Then finally we get the class. The Way of the Living Force, as the name implies, started as a monk subclass, until it evolved into its own thing, though it still uses the monk framework. It has an armed defense feat, a focus on unarmed attacks, all of that is still there, as well as the use of key points which are used for force powers such as Force Push, Force Pull, and Jedi Mind Tricks, i.e. the command spell. The mod also incorporates the light and dark sides of the Force by letting you choose a passive from one of them every few levels. Light abilities are protective, while dark side are aggressive as expected. Here's 2 examples. Jedis gain expertise in persuasion, hence why their negotiations are short, while Sith gain expertise in intimidation. Also, Jedis can gain temp HP when they take damage, and Siths can gain key points when they kill a foe. Aside from that, we have 3 subclasses that follow Star Wars lore. Guardians are your Force-sensitive bruisers. They are all about their saber forms, which I think are all from actual Star Wars lore. I never bothered to learn any of the names, so I don't know. Forms usually have some passive bonus, like increased AC damage or being able to spend key points to repost. Sentinels are the midpoint between a Guardian and a Consular. They gain slightly more key, while also keeping some saber forms. They kind of feel like a mishmash of feats from other classes. They get Jack of all trades from Bards, Sneak Attack from Rogues, and some random invisibility. This subclass feels kind of weird to me, honestly. Consulars get a lot of key and a lot of force abilities, but are very squishy. They gain Portent instead of an extra attack, and Force Quicken that turns full action spells into bonus actions. Instead of saber forms, they get force forms that can increase damage, spell DC, sometimes in exchange for AC or saving those. The class also does come with passive increases to attributes, which you can and should toggle off to bring balance to the Way of the Living Force. Finally, we end the classes with an adaptation of a fan favorite class from the official D&D books that somehow somehow didn't make it into the game? The Artificer. The class adds many items for itself, weapons, armor that you can buy from vendors, including a blueprint in Act 3 that lets you make your own steel watcher yourself. Some of these weapons are actually entirely new, flintlock pistols and rifles. Really gunning for that steampunk aesthetic. What did you say?
Watch it! Oh.
The dialogue tags for the class are also appropriately wizard, and incredibly, they have actually implemented a working infusion system. For those who don't know, artificers can imbue items with magical properties, meaning you can make your own armor resistance to certain type of damage, and other stuff like that. It's pretty awesome that they managed to get this working. The alchemist part of the artificer is also in the game and interacts with the game's crafting system via the experimental alchemy class feat that allows you to double the extracts you make by succeeding on a medicine check. Later, the salvage elements cantrip even allows you to extract materials from items like barrels and stuff. Do pay attention to both of these, however, because they apparently work by using a permanent buff that disappears forever when you die or respec, which also might make everything you made with these cantrips disappear. I'm not clear on that. This might be a thing they have changed or fixed already, but I couldn't find anything about that, so I'm mentioning it anyway so you can be aware. We also get some of the engineering prowess of the Artificer with the right tool for the job feat, which allows the Artificer to create a myriad of useful tools like shovels, thieves' tools, trap disarming kits, and a hammer that can even let you upgrade your own armor. I think it might be only upgradable with Inferno Metal, so you don't have to go to the blacksmith dude, but I'm not sure on that. Flash of Genius is also here, allowing you to add +4 to any roll made as a reaction, and even use it during dialogue. The Artificer also comes with 4 subclasses. Alchemists can make elixirs that give you a variety of buffs, like increased AC, speed, bonus to attacks and saving throws, and even flight. Armors are essentially Iron Man, you can put different effects on your armor, and also add bits and bobs to it like thunder gauntlets, a force field, and a chest-mounted lightning cannon. Like literally, it's the arc reactor, I wasn't kidding, you can literally be Iron Man. Battlesmiths can summon a steel defender. It's like being a ranger, but for nerds. You get an iron pat that can punch people with lightning and do other cool stuff. Artillerists have the Eldritch Cannon to make warlocks feel inadequate with their Eldritch thingies. Oh, they can also blow up. The Artificer mod is a really thorough one that adds a bunch of stuff that, even if awkward, I thought would never be able to actually be added in any way to the game. The mod is one of the best around. And no one's ever gonna keep it down. Alright, that's it for this one. See you later. DI space dot no space DI.
You, step back! We'll not tolerate drowning here.
Don't worry, we're here to save the day. Also because it's someone's birthday. No! Not in the lava! No! Bitch!
That's that.
The Faltav here will be our main model for the mods. I mean, who better than the person who's always here watching you with that blank stare as you begin yet another hundreds of hour run before you have even finished with the last one. Look at her, she's such a judgy bitch. Look, let's be real. Tav is cool, but they're not sunglasses and cigar cool. Until now, Black Aviator, Silver Aviator, Cigar, smoking is awesome!
Mighty as Tiamat's dragons, monumental as the one in the void.
Now you got it, sweetheart. We're gonna have lots of fun, you and I. You know what's boring? Eyes! So get rid of yours now! No more waiting around for Auntie or that bastard Volo. Pluck your eyes out now and replace them with cool eye patches and bandages. Comes with variations for each side. Now if you want to make your eyes interesting without removing them, well, then you're boring. But maybe we can make you an interesting kind of boring. So for the weebs, we have Mangekyo Shotgun. Can you see it? Can you see it? It's a bit far. Let me just zoom in for you. Can you see it now? Just a little bit more. Oh, there you go. There it is. There it is. It's kind of hard to see, but it's there, and it's pretty cool, and you can change the colors. But to use this mod, you will need also Eyes of the Beholder, which also has its own collection of eyes, if you're not a weeb and want something else. Though you can only install one set of eyes at a time, since there is no way to actually alter the type of eyes you have inside Baldur's Gate. Hopefully when mod support comes out, we'll be able to get as many eyes inside the game as we want. Do you want to look absolutely badass during combat, and utterly unhinged during normal conversations? Then Power Overwhelming Glowing Eyes is for you. Behold! I know everything! Just kidding, because they don't work in cutscenes. The mod spell can be found inside your cam clothes, and it comes in a variety of colors: blue, red, the other red, wait, what? What the? Gold and pink. Aha! So I can infect everyone with pink eye. I don't need the polyamory mod anymore. I can just do it myself. You know what this game is missing? Eyes representation. As someone who's as blind as a bat, meaning not technically blind, but close enough, I feel not seen. Get it? Thankfully, we have now 4 different mods to pick up the slack from the original game. First up is Davis Glasses. It offers a selection of modern-looking eyeglasses with a variety of lens types, which vary from very dirty to kinda dirty to very clear. And if you're looking to feel like a cool cat stuck in the Matrix, we have sunglass versions as well. Second is Goggles with variants. This mod gives you the good Dr. Thorne's glasses. Hello! Which have an enchantment that sets your intelligence up to 20. I would have preferred the version without the enchantment. It's a bit too much, I feel like, but it's not game breaking. The goggles also have 3 different spells that allow you to change their placement for different looks.
What's on your mind?
It's more like what's in it, and outside of it. Third is Ion's Clerical Eyeglasses. This mod adds 2 different equipable glasses. Hello, teacher! Both give you different mild effects, plus seeing visibility, which IMO is a bit much considering that otherwise you'd have to sacrifice an eye for that. You can dye them and get optional textures for the glass to make them cool as fuck. Also, if their effects bother you too much, the mod description does tell you how to change that, though I would have preferred just an optional download with all the effects. Fourth is Astarion's Glasses, which you can also use for Tav. Conan the Librarian looking ass. You know, I'm tired of dying. Close. I haven't died of an eye yet, even though I really want to. Luckily, we have some mods that allow us to dye other things. Tintable Piercings adds a duplicate of every vanilla piercing, the color of which you can change via your horn color. Which also does mean you will need the patches for CC Races mod, so you can change the horn color for races that don't, you know, have horns. Mod support, my darling. Where are you? Now with dyeable nails, I actually had a bit of a problem, because they are actually equipments for your helmet or cape slots. I don't know about this mod, I can barely see this shit. Is there a difference? I can't see the difference. What if I remove this too? Oh, is it because I'm hiding? Ah! Don't be stupid like I am, please. There are 3 types of nails: normal nails, pointy nails, and claws. They all look awesome and are, as the title says, dyeable. How's this summer in green? It's honestly really hard to get footage of your feet and hands in this game. They're so far.
Soldier?
This is gonna affect your gameplay so much, you guys, you have no idea. Look, I know what you freaks like. Cat girls, fox girls, I've played League of Legends, I know what you're into. So Vulpine Starter Pack, Colorable Foxtails and Ears are here for you, you freak. The skin tone of the tail matches yours, the fur also matches your hair with grain and gradients and everything working really well, and the skin part of the ears can be changed with horn colors, so you have to have the CC patches that lets you control horns for hornless races. It's a great looking mod, and if foxes aren't your thing, we have the Feline Starter Pack, Colorable Cat Tails and Ears, which is the same thing but with cat ears and stuff, you get it. Way back when I started this project, I came across a mod for Fluffy Tails for Tieflings, but it wasn't actually a mod, it was just the assets, and back then I didn't understand why even upload that to the Nexus if it wasn't complete, but lo and behold, it's because someone else can come along and finish it up. Fluffy and Tiefling Tails for Everyone does the title. It does the title. It does the thing that the title says it does. You know, that. Why am I here? We have 2 tail options. The fluff on the tail utilizes the same color for the hair, and the skin on the tail also utilizes the skin color you choose. Paradoxically, the tail looks weird on Tieflings because their bodies are actually tied to their vanilla tail, but in the description of this mod you can grab the Tailless Tieflings mod that should take care of that. Now we're going to get into hair, so always keep this in mind. They are, as is tradition, focused only on tall races, minus the orcs. For shame, mothers. For shame. But it is what it is. And also, most hairs are usually focused for the feminine body types, more specifically, the weak noodly one, not the strong awesome one. And also, all longer hairs will clip, as is gaming tradition. You know what I love? Bangs. Know what I love even more? Bangs that cover your entire ass. They just look cool as fuck. So now we have a mod for that. Yeah, I don't think that's Platinum Blonde. Give me a second. Okay, so this mod actually comes with a version that puts the bangs as horns, so you can mix and match normal hairstyles with the long bangs. Thing is, when you get the version, you also need a main file for it to work. which I thought I didn't need. Oh, the joys of modding. But hey, if you feel like that glitch is a vibe, why the f not? With this hairstyle, nobody will see all the horrible choices you've made, like siding with a hag, or being lobotomized by Volo. And alongside the bangs, this mod also offers extremely long hair, which will clip on everything, of course. Jesus, look at that one. You're just dragging it like a tail. That's some Bianca Belair shit. Now, historically, Afro-textured hair has always had a rough go in games. And although Baldur's Gate does better, and most recent games do better at that, who's gonna complain about a few more choices? So for that, we have more dreadlocks and curly hairstyles. Look at that. She's just in a lazy Susan. I don't even need to do anything. Whee! Whee! Yay! Vesnell. Vesnell? Vesnell's hair? I don't know. Why am I even getting caught up in this? Vesnell's hair is an assorted collection of very glamorous hair. It feels a bit out of place with how model-like it is, but that might be your thing, so check it out. It comes in 4 separate packs, totaling 26 new hair options. I don't know why they are in separate packs instead of just being in one file, but sure, whatever. I don't know how mods work. I'm not gonna question things. Actually, I kinda do, a little bit, and this still confuses me. We have 10 hairstyles that work on all body types, genders, and races. Though the mod does warn that some hairs might look off in some races/body types. Kylin's Sharon hairstyles adds 12 new Sharon-themed hairstyles. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm just repeating the mod's goddamn title. Do you even need me here? I'm feeling redundant. These hairstyles are apparently for everyone, which is pretty cool. Most of the hairstyles are mixes from vanilla ones, from what I can tell, but still cool. With all the many hair mods in the Nexus, this one immediately stood out to me with how fighting game coded it feels. It might be a rip of something, I don't know. Champion girl hair. We have 10 hairstyles here for everyone. Kinda. Some apparently are off on masculine bodies. But this one actually does that thing where the textures are a separate mod, which I don't get since the separate mod is also from this mod author. So why make me download this other mod that also has textures for the other mods you have if I might not even play those mods? And I'm just playing this one. Why put the texture separately? It's only slightly annoying, it's not that big a deal, I just don't get it. Drinsky's alt hairs has somehow ended up in my mod list, and I don't quite know how. I think it was because one of the race mods had it as a requirement, but either way, it's a cool mod that brings some of the GIF and Goblin hairs and some mashups of them to characters of all races and body types. Definitely grab it if you have a thing for undercuts. And of course, we have Tavis Hair Salon. I think this is the biggest hair mod pack out there, and it's one of the most popular. Although the hairs are mostly for the usual body/race types, it does also have a version that works with all body types, though missing a couple hairs and without physics enabled. This mod has 100+ hairstyles. 100+ hairstyles. It's a lot. I got bored even just recording them. I am so far from the end. Look at this. It doesn't end. Jesus Christ. Just how many are there? 168? But granted, a lot of them are kind of remixes of existing hairstyles. A hairstyle will have a braid at the back and one type of fringe at the front, then another style will have the same braid and a different fringe, etc. There are so many hairstyles in this mod that I need to buy some time so that I can showcase all the cool ones that I saw to you. So, how's your partner? Oh, you don't have any? I woke up today very worried because I thought there was an alarm going off. It sounded like either a car alarm or like a fire alarm, and it sounded like it was in my room, so I woke up very worried, which is weird because, you know, I don't have a fire alarm in my room, and neither do I have a car in my room. So, weird, but I was like, okay, what the hell's going on? And turns out there was a cricket on my window, and the noise was him. And I don't know how loud crickets are where you're from, but over here, they're very, very loud. So I just closed my window, and even through the window, I could still hear him. But I didn't kill him, I just let him go, because, like, he's fine. He's just living his life. And I hope he's doing well wherever he is, because he's not here anymore. And it was a fat cricket, too. Oh, it's over. Oh, there are dozens and dozens of unique faces in the Nexus, and they're all very good, but somebody's interested in them explicitly tied with the kind of character that they want to make. If that character is an Instagram model or something. If you want something else, you're shit So, since I can't read your mind and guess which type of face you want, I'll just showcase some of the notable face packs here instead of individual face mods. Wayward Faces introduces 4 heads. We have Eden Driver himself at Wall. I smell my own farts and they smell good. Instagram model that forgot the rest of her nose at her plastic surgeon's clinic. And finally, Person. Faces of Faerun adds a bunch of, and I mean a bunch of, cool new heads. I've just realized that there's not a lot I can say about these kinds of mods. I could tell you how many heads there are and for each race, but that sounds boring and I don't want to go find out, to be quite honest. So, should I tell you another story? Let's not. Here's a surprise for you. We got new Dragonborn heads. Yeah, they got something, finally! Pearl Sea Dragon is an awesome looking new head and new head parts. Apart from just looking cool, it also actually has physics? The Frill's freaking move, how cool is that? As the name implies, the look is inspired by sea things like corals, seahorses, and also things like insects. They do look more lizard/salamander than dragons, but like, whatever man, don't get party pooper. Pearl Sea Dragon does require another mod called Dirge's Mangled Head, which is also actually another really cool standalone head mod for Dragonborns. It also adds a new head base and head parts, and as the name implies, they all feel very edgy. Man, you could at least pity laugh, you know? You don't get it, I need validation, okay? Do you want Wither's head? No? Of course you didn't, but I don't care, here you go. Now you can be Withers and also miss your neck. Kawaii this! Magic of Baldur's Gate modding. Yogurt Head's half-orc and elf presets doesn't add that many heads, but the ones that it does are pretty high quality and unique. And you know, for the half-orcs, which are usually a very ignored race. I actually really love these. Drinsky, that peep that did those hairstyles, actually also has true head mods for some races that desperately needed some love. Drinsky's heads for the short lads adds heads for the short lads. New unique faces for dwarves and gnomes and halflings. And we also have Jarinsky's masked GIF heads. Have you ever noticed that the feminine Githyanki heads are actually way more handsome than the masculine ones? Like seriously, the masked Githyanki look way weirder than the feminine ones. The feminine ones just look like normal pretty women, but with weird noses. Like lae'zel's a beautiful woman, but without a nose. Seriously. I feel like this mod bridges the gap between the gender presentations a bit better. Kain's heads offer a selection of way softer faces straight from the Vogue catalog for a variety of races, including orcs and Gith. These are more your baby boy, baby girl type faces. Which, I mean, fair enough. I feel like the boys definitely need softer faces. If you want to make someone that isn't, you know, a classic warrior type dude, adventure, etc. Frosty Faces adds a wealth of unique faces for a variety of races and body types. Can you tell I'm desperately fumbling for different ways of saying this mod adds faces? I like faces. They be different faces. Cool faces. Nice faces. I love faces. All my friends have faces. Hope I'm doing a good job of it. VG3 has dwarves. But has it really? I mean, where are their big, beautiful, luscious beards? Well, right here in this mod. Live your dwarven Vogue dreams with big dwarven beards. They tried to put me in the cover of Vogue, but my beards were too long. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day is beard day. Sideburns braids all the way. Every day is beard day. We have 8 beards here, which also works for both gender bodies, so that's nice. Now in the modding scene, you need to have an ubiquitous mod. If you have looked at mods in the Nexus, you've probably heard about it. But instead of explaining it to you, I'll let this Redditor do it for me. Basically, by default, your custom character shares the files you can choose from with all the regular NPCs in the world. So if you were to, for example, download a mod that replaces makeup or tattoos, all the NPCs in the world would also have their makeup and tattoo replaced with your modded file. With Unique Tab, only your character would be accessing those makeup and tattoo files you downloaded, and everyone else in the world would remain unchanged. Does that make sense? You're downloading the floppy cock mod, aren't you? The what? Do keep in mind that Unique Tab seems to have a lot of compatibility issues, which means you need to make sure that the mods you're using have compatibility patches or are naturally compatible with it. Though most mods I've covered here aren't really replacing much, but for the ones that are, this is a really useful mod to keep in mind. Baldur's Gate actually is missing one very cool customization option. I mean, it's actually missing a lot. The character creation isn't that in-depth when it comes to visual stuff. But anyways, that thing is being able to change your Githyanki spots. I mean, I guess you can't change the complexion of any face, but still, these are so prominent, it makes sense that they would be a thing you can alter. There are 15 variations to choose from with this mod, but they do replace the default player texture, which means they will affect NPCs as well. Since this is a replacement mod, I also got lazy and I'm using the screenshots provided on the Nexus, since recording this would mean I would have to boot up the game like 15 times for each replacement spots thing. So like, it's like a lot of work, man. Listen, I have the right to get lazy at some point, at least for one mod, you know what I mean? Oh, what? You think this is easy? Then you go do it. Why don't you do it, huh? You mess with the bow, you get the Lord's horns. Yeah, the Lord, alright. Good Lord. Listen, give me a break. This is like page 33. We gotta get through this, fam. Careful not to poke anyone's eyes out with these new horns that replace one of the vanilla ones. It's not one of the most elaborate mods ever, but I really did like the look of these horns, so I thought I'd show them off. Chigo's lipstick is a very specific mod, yet I'm not surprised, because I think the Venn diagram for both of those fandoms is bigger than one would think. At the very least, I know I'm somewhere in there, so there you go. It's a tattoo replacer though, by the way. So to cap things off, let's look at feats. The best feats to me are the ones that marry roleplay with gameplay effects. Your character trained with many weapons, weapon master, and get proficiency in many more weapons outside your class. Your character is accustomed to pain, get tough and get more HP.
Just a flesh wound.
There's not that many feat mods out there, but we have a few great examples of exactly what I'm talking about. Petty increases your charisma, teaches you the vicious mockery spell, and allows you to make fun of your enemies with a reaction whenever they miss an attack. I would call you blind, but that would imply there's an excuse for your inadequacy. Wow, you almost missed the stars your parents did raising you. Doing so does cost a mockery dice, great name by the way. The amount of those you have is equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain them on a long rest. Being paranoid has paid off. Paranoid lets you increase an ability score, and gives you a second reaction. Combo this with something like Sentinel and Noof. Next up is Power Nap. I realize these feats sound absolutely ridiculous, but they are so good. Power Nap gives you a constitution-based temp HP boost after a long rest, and have one after a short rest. You can get a version that includes nightmares in the forms of dreams of danger. Now this little addition means that there's a chance you wake up mad after resting, meaning you go hostile on all your buddies. I guess it kind of balances out the temp HP by giving you a chance to completely waste it, or waste some HP from your companions. Unlike the others, this one isn't homebrew, but taken directly from the D&D books, specifically Xanatar. Dragon Fear is only available for Dragonborns. Unless you get the mod that is for everyone, I guess. It gives you a bonus on ability score, and allows you to expend a breath weapon charge to let out a mighty roar that forces nearby enemies to make a wisdom save and receive frightened on a failure. Oh, I guess she isn't a foe. Whoops. Okay, so this one's not as widely applicable to characters like the others, but I do think it kind of shows how feats are versatile and how they can be used to directly make something about your backstory exist in gameplay. Frostborn is a bunch of stuff. Too much, IMO. But mostly it does cool things. Cold, you get it. You do mortal damage, miss attacks on you, your attacks and conditions you inflict all have a chance to apply a stack of encrusted with frost or chill to your target. The former will slowly build up and eventually fully freeze your enemy. I honestly think everyone on D&D should be more comfortable doing weird feats like this for specific character stuff. It's fun. Well, I mean, not exactly like this one's kind of broken. You were a simple cheese enthusiast once, surrounded by the rich aroma of 1,000 cheese wheels. You had everything you ever desired. The cheese almost felt alive. You could feel its love for you, its worship. The cheese thought you God, and so slowly, over time, you came to believe yourself to be the god of cheese, the harbinger of cheddar. One day you came home to find your cheese stolen. An untraceable crime, an unforgivable one. In your rage, you tapped into your deepest cheddar, seeking any who may have been involved in this crime and turning them into cheese. Your desire for vengeance was unquenchable. It wouldn't be safe that even turning a world into cheese. No, entire worlds would have to pay for this. Radiate an indiscriminate eldritch aura that transforms friend and foe into cheese. Oh wow, people are angry at me. Ah! Become cheese, motherfucker! Oh shit! Ah! Stop it! God damn it! That cheese has Sentinel! What the fuck? Oh, it's at the edge of the power! Oh my god! Oh we can't decide if it's cheese or man! Oh, it was a dog. It was neither. This X mod isn't a feat. It's actually one of the only background mods out there, and it's, yeah, definitely out there. Let me read some of it for you. What's the goal for 10 years? You have spent the last decade or so living as a goat on an otherwise abandoned island. A strange turn of events caused you to rematerialize in your original form. Your time as a goat has left you with strong animal handling skills, as well as making you more athletic. And you keep your foot in muddy or difficult terrain. You also see better in the dark. There you go. That's your backstory. You were a goat for 10 years. See you later. Now, before we really start reviewing them, let me just boot up the game real quick. Just a normal game of Baldur's Gate. Nothing weird here, just nothing weird here. Look, after a long day of bound and abound, I just want to rest in my nice cozy froggy chair, while I stare intensely at Asterian's scar as I ponder to myself, is this lost? The Froggy Chair mod can add a Froggy Chair, or replace all chairs in the game with it. Can you guess which I think is the best? Well, the Asterian lost scars I actually couldn't get to work anymore, so yeah, the feeling I got after troubleshooting it for more than half an hour, only to not get anything in return, was indeed loss. Also embarrassment that I wasted my limited time on Earth doing that. I'm sick of this! Why are the companions all so ugly? Look at this! Wrinkles? Ew! And what is this? A jaw and cheeks on my women? Oh god, I think I'm gonna puke. Let's fix this right away. Yeah, now that's more like it. Now that everyone is handsome, I can finally my dick so hard. That is the worst thing I've ever said for a video ever. What's nice is that there are many beauty mods online, so we have options. If these aren't to your taste, like for example, Yassify Shadowheart, or other handsome Gale. This definitely isn't satire and a commentary on the state of beauty mods. Definitely not. I mean, not on the modder's part, definitely not on my part, I mean. But wait. No, this won't do. We're missing something. That's it, tits! We need badonkadonks, bazongas, big bountiful bosoms. If Skyrim mod has taught me anything, is that literally everything that moves, and also some of the things that don't, need great gonkin gagonkas. Great gons and gonkin gazongas. So we have Elminster's big naturals and Wither's big naturals. There, as God intended. But seriously, look at Withers now. I'm just so attracted to him, but he's so distant. He won't let me touch him. Thankfully, mothers have also thought this through, so we have the next best thing, Withers' body pillow, which also doubles up as a weapon. Pillow fight! Hey Withers, look what I have. It's a body pillow of you. Sorry that it's covered in blood. I was menstruating. Oh god, that's the worst thing I've ever said. It doesn't have your big naturals though. It's from before you started taking estrogen. But now that the companions are beautiful, I need to take care of myself to match their energy. Luckily, I have just the mods for it. I always knew Gale would like me for my brain, and not just my massive tits. But it's not really a good idea to walk around with my brain exposed, right? I know. Man, what the fuck? How about we literally become the game's most beautiful character? On the words of the mod author themselves, do you want to become a shadow-cursed, messed up worm woman? No? Well, tough luck, because you are now. Now that's the kind of energy I can get behind. Gold? Who has gold? Time to get that bag, people. Our entire equipment pretty much comes from money, either literally or figuratively here, too. Which is very nice.
You are no thrall.
I am to money and capitalism, like all of us. But, I mean, a worm woman, it's not to everybody's taste, right? We need something more general, something that everybody likes, like Bugs Bunny. Oh! God, ain't I handsome? Okay, now that we're the prettiest belle of the ball, we need to dress accordingly. We need to, as one might put it, slay while we slay. Ketheric Torn edition. Yeah, if you ever thought Ketheric Torn's outfit is great, but it should be sluttier, this mod's for you. I don't know who thought that. This person, apparently, clearly. Do I even need to say anything? Yes, I do. Look at this girl. Work it, work it. Okay, so now that everybody is hot and pretty, we need to give them their proper epitaphs. And for that, we have Sid Meier's mods. Not that Sid Meier, which gives our favorite characters that we like to thirst for their appropriate epitaphs. Like Daddy Halsin or Mummy Aelin. Sid Meier has also made some mods to transform every one of our companions and other NPCs in general into the little races, which is awesome, but also kind of unsettling. Again, it's weird to see these characters that you know so well just be completely different. It's very in the uncanny valley. The kisses are also... Whoa, where did you kiss? This is not... Nope. I don't like that. However, for patch 6, there are only Gale and Asterion replacers. The other replacers are for other patches beyond 6, which fall outside of the scope of these videos. But do check them out, they're very funny and cute. If slightly creepy because of the proportions. Look, I love Asterion, but he's kind of a dick, and deserves to be taken out a peg every once in a while, so... Look, Baldur. He's starting to remind me of a certain egg I need to crack. But no, this is not enough. How about...
Hello, my sweet.
Oh god, no, actually that was enough. This is too much. Go back. Okay, maybe there's a middle ground between both of these. Do you ever think Astarion's a clown? Me too! But what if he was also a prince of crime? The Joker mod, sorry I have to say it like that, it's in all caps, gives our favorite rogue a new subclass of the same name. It's all about making your enemies laugh here. You can cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter as a bonus action as long as you have your joke's resource. You can also laugh yourself silly, which gives you resistance to all types of damage, but an incredible -10 to your AC. The upside is that when you get hit, you get hit back with your Madness Strike skill, which gives the dazed and poison status to the enemy and also lowers your critical number by 2. It's a creative and massively absurd mechanic. There's also a bunch of other feats as you level up, like Laughing Gas, which is exactly what it sounds like, and Kill and Joke, which makes you invisible if you kill someone laughing. Though the text on this mod is a bit rough, it was made by a non-native English speaker, and it's kinda broken as hell. But it's such a weird, wacky idea that the broken English kind of just adds to it. Also, for f***'s sake, the point of the Kill and Joke comic is that the justification that the Joker uses is bullshit. Gordon literally disproves it. Jesus, I'm so tired of seeing this shit. If all it takes is one day for you to become a psychopath, you might just be a piece of shit. Each day that passes, more and more I understand Alan Moore. But we're not done punishing Asterion. This mod asks, what if Asterion wasn't a pompous rich douchebag, but actually a poor pompous douchebag? I don't know why this exists, I don't mind it, but I don't get it. Much has been made of Baldur's Gate 3's incredibly fun throw-in mechanic. It's fun and also useful. I mean, I've abused it in my Kill Everything run. But what if we could make it even more funny?
You think you're funny, do you?
No, I think you're funny. Throw Everything does exactly as advertised. Oh, did Scratch wait to get the bad throw for me? Thank you, Scratch. That was very considerate of you. Catch! Sorry, I just thought you needed a light. Oh god, I'm burning! Fuck! Oh, I guess this is why they called it the Traveler's Chest. I never realized. Talking about killing everything, the original game only lets us kill goblin children, and I say that is racist, and we should be striving for equality, so therefore you should download Kaga's Right, the Killable Children mod. There, balanced, as all things should be. Okay, now I can already hear some of you being like, killing children is morally condemnable, blah blah blah. That you dislike it, that you disapprove of it. But tell me, is it cringe? Or is it based? See? Now you're talking a language that I can understand. Now, here's a couple honorable mentions. What's Cooking Good Looking is a mod that adds burn scar body options. There's nothing weird about this mod. I just thought the name was funny, and so I wanted to include it here. Trade with Withers add-on Bling Edition finally offers us an answer to the most asked question of Baldur's Gate. What the fuck is Withers doing with all that gold anyways? Coming to a magical shop near you, the Deadbolts present Bart Bangers at Baldur's with their latest hits. Bartends. Sing for me. My mother told me. Silver for monsters. And the power. Order Bard Bangers at Baldur's today for only 19 gold pieces and 9 silver. Have you ever thought to yourself, man, there's sure a lot of U after O in this game. A lot of oi governor, a lot of lines. Well, don't worry, this following mod brings democracy and freedom to the Sword Coast. America! Fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America! Fuck yeah! Stalin dictatorships in South American countries! Magic as it should be. This guy took those discussions where people actually argue that people who can make meteors spawn out of nowhere should be just as powerful as people that can whack others with a stick, and just went the totally opposite direction. Which, honestly, respect. Like, gives mages resistance to damage, makes DC of spells way harder. I'm not even gonna show you the in-game effects of this mod. The reason why I wanted to share this mod with you is because the description is actually insane. Aside from the premise of the mod already being insane by essentially making mages broken as all hell, listen to this. I knew the downside to this mod would be the discrepancy between the newfound power and how the game still treats mages just like any other nobody. But when I started the game, the memory of actual canonical misery of mages was too crushing. This, along with the whole bar and pointless premise of the game, made me refund the game. So I didn't actually find out if changing the class progressions gives the boost to enemy mages as well, so that the fights become battles essentially between mages. Or it's only you who benefit from all these new passives and you just ragdoll the game without any resistance from enemy mages. This guy made a mod for a game that he ended up refunding, and he didn't even test the mod properly and just uploaded it online. What the fuck is this? Makes the broken ass mod, refuses to elaborate, leaves. Man, what else has this guy done? Let's see. Mods. He has 3 mods. He has one for Pathfinder, Wrath of the... What the fuck? What the fuck? No, this is weird. Real world issues is one of the tags? No. You know what? I don't like this guy anymore. If you are an Asterian girly, here's 2 other mods for you to get. Dark concert outfit, which is actually really funny and cute.
Hello, my sweet.
The dress come in this cute little chest called Darling's Treasures, which has little bat wings. Look at it. Oh, it's actually not little at all. Holy shit. It's huge. Oh. One has bigger boobs. Okay, so your body shape changes based on the dress. Oh my god, are those bat wings on the boots? They are! There's a nice shawl. Oh, there's a casual outfit. The only reason why this is in this video is because of the boob bat thing, which I thought was really funny, but this is really cool and well made. What the hell? Your beloved watches the world around you, ready to come out of his nest should you require his aid during battle. Rufflebat Starion. Wait, what? Little playful rub on your darling's fluffy head is enough to ease all of your worries, whether he likes you messing his fur up or not. It makes me seem proceeded showing wrist. Nippled fingers. Give him a nipple. And precious pet collars. Oh god. Okay. They're all dyeable as well, by the way. All of them also have effects and descriptions and stuff. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but Asterian girlies are committed. They're committed to the bit. Except it isn't a bit. Look, I can tell you what some of these next mods do, but that wouldn't really explain some of them, you know what I mean? Our next mod is Elias Shadowheart and Abius Karlach and Owen Gale, you know, essentially turn characters from Baldur's Gate 3 into characters from The Last of Us 2. It's just so specific. Honestly, very uncanny looking at these characters I'm so accustomed to, wearing the faces of other characters that I know. Like, it's really unsettling. Look, how many times do I have to say this? The amazing Drider Man isn't real. He can't hurt you.
If it is Her Majesty's will, then we shall walk!
Oh, well, never mind. I stand corrected. He does exist, and he can hurt you. They can't be bargained with, they can't be reasoned with, they don't feel pity or remorse or fear, and they absolutely will not stop, ever, until they have collected your underpants. Underpants gnomes. So yeah, sometimes these little guys will show up to steal your underwear. Yep, that's it. Oh, this is a South Park reference. Ah, shit, that makes so much more sense now. Now, to make the underwear gnomes truly dangerous, and put some stakes on the fact that they're stealing your underwear, you can download Gale's Magic Underpants. This mod enchants his undies so that they can cast Meteor Swarm. Sorry. That was me. I had beans for lunch. You wanna know the worst part about this one? It's lore accurate. He did enchant them. Now our next mod asks us to reject humanity and return to Tiktaalik.
I've been catching myself smiling more lately. I think that's your fault.
Why do you think you're smiling more around me? Run on all fours is somehow innocuous and objectively very funny, while also being unintentionally the most perverse mod I've ever seen. We've seen so far. Just waiting on my hands and knees. I dropped my glasses. Oh my god. This is like a furry convention. I don't even get it because it's not working properly. It's just out of nowhere. It's just sometimes they just feel like throwing back. Dance Macabre is an ancient spell created by the ancient necromancers of Thay. An evil summoning of corpses to do your bidding. But if that's too spoopy for you, here's Dance Madoggy. No more ghoulish ghouls, just pretty puppies you can take out for a walk. A murder walk! No, stop fighting each other! Fight our enemies, no! I don't have the skills of a dog walker who manipulates 1,000 dogs at once, so maybe I should just focus on singular Scratch. Good boy, Scratch, you're such a good boy. See everyone, I like Scratch. You can stop leaving me hate comments under the Kill Everything video. We're good. Wait, Scratch, boy, what are you doing? Ah, no, stop! I have developed a bit of a Pavlovian response to the failed die sound effect. It really makes me angry, so I thought I would change it to something different.
Bruh.
Except this mod is gone and that wasn't added. Please, please, if you have this mod or can recreate it, I'm begging you, bruh. Smaller dialogue. What kind of freak? Wait, what the f is going on in the background of this screenshot? What has he done to Gale and lae'zel? Did he make lae'zel white? You know, there's some mods that just make you go, what was going on for that person's mind? What led them to this? These aren't bad mods, just weird. No Pants mod. There are two versions of this mod for each gender presentation, which for some reason doesn't work together even though they should. Probably because of the mod manager or something, I don't know. So right now I'm forced to choose, which isn't what I'm all about. Anyways, you can also grab a version which shows actual hog and taco. But honestly, this mod is way funnier than I expected because a lot of outfits actually work really well for the pants because their upper parts are long, which makes it seem like the hottest new thing right now in Faerun is just showing your absolute territory, which I find very funny. But in a less comedic point, I'm concerned about all of you. Well, I shouldn't judge too harshly, I guess. I'm not wearing any pants either. Pickaxes. Wait, that's just it? What? Raphael's PB&J. What's better than the devil you don't know? The devil who will make you a PB&J sandwich the morning after. This mod was apparently done exclusively because of a tweet. It's ludicrous, doesn't make sense, and I love it. I thought about showing you in-game, but honestly the screenshots are better than anything I could make, so there you go. Here, Asterion, eat some. Oh, sorry, are you allergic to peanut butter? Me too! Chocolate cake. Gives Enver Gortash his favorite food. Again, same thing with the PB&J. It's just, this is incredible. Have some cake, Asterion.
Ha! You think you're funny, do you?
We have two Santa mods, one to add him as a deity, which doesn't do much, and this nightmare-inducing one that I wish not to talk about for any longer than I have to. Turn myself into a pickle dirge! I'm Pickle Gorge! I can't do an impression. Ouch, my throat. Get away from me. Do you want to be a whiskey master? Trick question. I don't care. Here's a mod that does it. Just read the items. Oh, that was a no for me. I actually shouldn't have read that out loud. Spirited attire. Flowing robes made from a special enchanted fabric that shimmers like a fine whiskey. Excuse you, pitiful rite of whiskey? Okay. Barrel Bruiser Gloves. These gloves are adorned with miniature whiskey barrels on the knuckles. Your unarmed attacks deal additional force damage, and have a chance of making me feel drunk. If Bungie made you drunk, there would be so many more bar fights. Cloak that shimmers like the ripples of whiskey in a glass. There are whiskey symbols in the gloves, the cape, the boots, everything. It's a bit too much, like, it's tacky. Our next mod fixes a problem I always had with the game. The dwarves just aren't wide and thick enough, you know? So thicker dwarves this year to the rescue, not compatible with clothes. It's just for the feminine bodies too. Never mind. This is for perverts. No, I'm not showing anything about that for obvious reasons, but here's a funny tidbit that I think makes sense for what this video is. Did you know that the sex framework for Baldur's Gate 3 was originally designed by a person trying to figure out how to make people hug in-game? Then some godless pervert made them stray from God's holy path, and now we have the best of both worlds. True story. Also, here's another fun fact. Did you know Laren actually added naked bodies for all humanoid creatures in this game? Well, now you do, and you can see it thanks to BG3 naked creatures. Have fun, I guess. I don't judge. Judgment-free zone here, you freaks. You download this, right? This is immersive. Just like you download all those titty mods and naked mods because it's immersive. So you download this, right? Right? Run! Run and be free! Halsin's bearer outfits. Some of you are freaks, and it shows. Though I can't say I'm too angry about it. I mean, this one's lore accurate even, so you know, definitely getting this just for the lore accurateness of it. But honestly, I kinda dig it. It's actually kinda cool. Druid garments that show Halsin's gifts from nature. And now, we also have Harpy Refined, which is a mod that makes harpies naked because wait, he's arguing it makes more sense? Well, I guess it would be hard to make clothing without fingers. Horny and sensible? My god, my favorite two things! Though not satisfied with making the harpies naked, this person went and made them thick. But I'm sure that was just for the mythical accuracy, of course. Judgment-free zone. It's just funny also. He is love. He is life. And he is now in Baldur's Gate. Somebody once told me that this ring has special powers. Simply use the onion ring to summon his almighty highness. Oh my god, he's so much bigger than I expected. Oh! I hate it. Ogres are like onions. They kill for you. And no, he is not balanced. Aw, shit. Here we go again. Call on CJ to help you take down the Absolute. I mean, he's got experience dismantling large groups. Oh yeah, nothing wrong to see here. Don't worry about it. Nothing wrong. But what the hell? He's actually a pretty strong monk. I don't remember CJ being a martial artist. Why is CJ so big? Is he large? He's medium size. Why does he occupy so much space? Look. What I've learned from this video is that some people have too much power and time in their hands. See you later. Equipment. Let's talk about the veritable endless armory of equipment mods out there. Weapons and armors all. There are a lot I want to showcase, so I'm going to be light on the details. I'll mention cool new effects they might have, but if they aren't too different from what's already on the game, we'll just move right along. First up, guns. I've done an entire video about guns already, so let's go over the weapons I used on that video. Remington 870, MP5 SMG, Winchester 1894 Cowboy Rifle, Colt Carabine M4, Kar 98K, Glock 19 gun mod, Barrett M82 sniper rifle, and the best one, the RPG-7 rocket launcher. And finally, if you want guns that are more set and appropriate, we have gun blades for the weebs. It honestly looks really awkward due to the animations and all, so not a perfect realization of the gunblade fantasy, but it's an honest attempt. Our next lore-accurate option is Dwarven Weaponry, which is the best gun mod in this list in my humblicious opinion. The versions of the gun of high rarity aren't just clones of the common one but with better stats, but actually new items with new theming, enchantments, and even models. Like the cold version that has a cold spell and a cooler model. Cold, cooler, okay. So it's fantasy themed, the different versions are unique, and the models are super cool and fit with the game. Definitely my favorite. I know there's a lot of weebs in this community, so here's a gift for you. 3 mods that let you roleplay as a samurai. For your battle armor, we have the Land of Reed Samurai Armor, which is actually designed as to be placed over your armor, which I f***ing love. It's very much reminiscent to me of Fallout's modular armor system. It looks good and it's very creatively implemented. For the samurai's weapon of choice, we have the Shadow Weaver Katana, which is a cool, simple katana, and also the worst mod to download I've ever seen on the Nexus. It has like a ton of download choices for different versions of this weapon and of other weapons, not just the katana, and it's really f***ing annoying figuring out what is what when the titles and their descriptions are so very unhelpful. You have to keep going from the images to the descriptions of the files to figure out what is what. Anyways, for something more laid back, we have the Ronin Straw Hat, for the mysterious dashing rogues wandering the land without a master and a lot of trauma. You know, these mods make me want to make Samurai Jack so much. I desperately want a White Kimono mod. You know what's not cool? Unique items that don't have unique models. Unique Sword of Chaos does what it says for the item it says. Unique models, unique icons, and uniquely cool. Talking about weapons that used to be on Baldur's Gate 2, do you miss the Robe of Vecna? No? Too specific a reference to mention? Agreed. Still, this mod author is on it. The effects of this Robe of Vecna obviously aren't a one-to-one translation from BG2 because that was a 2nd edition game, but still, the mod does keep the quick spell casting and magic resistance ideas that the original item had, and translates it as best as it can to the 5e system. It is a very powerful item, as a consequence. It allows you to cast spells with a bonus action instead of an action. Sadly, it is one of those items that aren't actually integrated in the game world, and you just have to buy it from the Grove Merchant or get it from the tutorial chest, which is not great for such a powerful item, but then again, it's broken by design, so whatever. Goblin fashion is in, with goblin armors, which makes all the goblin outfits in the game fit and be accessible to the player as legitimate equipment with stats and all that. What I really like about it is that there are 2 versions of the equipment, a common one and a rare one. And the difference, not that the rare one is better, but also that it has pants. The better item has pants. I love that. This one's simple. Saravok's set adds his awesome armor as equipment to the player. It looks so good and it's so nostalgic. F***ing A. You know, the Iron Flask you acquire from the Zentering quest is such a cool item. Imagine if you could use it to trap other things just like they used it to trap that spectator. You know, kind of like a Pokeball? Yeah, we're just gonna have to keep imagining that, because the mod that does that wasn't working for me. It's a shame because it'd be very lore accurate and the most D&D thing ever. It was supposed to allow you to trap any NPC you threw the Iron Flask at, and then get them out as an ally later. But no matter how many times you threw it, it just didn't work. Useful music instruments, and Deacon Scale Singer is an awesome mod for a number of reasons. First, it actually places the items in the game, so you do have to find them, which I appreciate instead of just being given extremely powerful items in exchange for nothing. Number 2, it's a great concept. The mod adds magical musical instruments that come with enchantments that allow you to cast spells. Most of the spells are stuff you already know from the game, but some are new summons. Very peculiar ones, like we have Styx from the video game series Styx. And he does stuff, he jumps, he sneaks, you know, just like the actual snake. Styx! What? There's also a cool Dryad that can summon her boyfriend or whatever. Like, these are really good. And also, of course, there's our very own Deacon Scale Singer. Like, it's such a cool idea having a Goblin War Drum that summons the Goblin Chief when you beat on it. And finally, reason number 3, again, it has Deacon. Look at him, it's our boy! Elven Weaponry, Phoenix and Valkyrie is another great set of armors. Not only do they look unique and really good, the way you acquire them is very different. You start off with a common set, but the rare version you are actually going to have to find yourself, while the legendary version you actually have to craft yourself with Susser and Adamantine. I think this is the only item mod that I've seen that uses the crafting mechanic. It's really clever. Besides, they also look really good. And also as a bonus, we get warrior panties. I don't know what's the difference between that and normal panties. Okay, so you decided to be a Sally Knight. Well, you're going to need armor of a moon team to rep your goddess. Enter Sailor Moon. Churro. Or I guess you could use this if you want to like roleplay a Inuyasha type situation. There are other options for uniforms too. Sailor Fuku V Chu and Seifu. So pick your poison. Now this is a very simple mod, but as a League lore enthusiast, I couldn't not mention it. What the fuck? That's not how you word that. Ash's bow adds the War Mother's legendary bow that may or may not have belonged to Avarosa. I will say though, it is a bit disappointing that there was no attempt to change the bow's model at all. Like, they could have at least made it blue. But alas, I still appreciate that they have replicated Ash's skills with the enchantments in the bow. Her hawk ability, the cold damage, slow per attack, etc. Quick question. What are those? No, seriously, what are those? They aren't supposed to be black like that. If you are a FromSoft fan, we have some items from their games here. First off, we have Moonlight Greatsword and Ludwig's Holy Blade, which adds the 2 weapons. The Moonlight Greatsword is appropriately great, and has some intricate designs on the blade, and does stuff that I think might be the things that the blade does in the games. I don't remember, it has been a long time. And Ludwig's Holy Blade is very cool. It's a very cool longsword. We also have the greatest and most iconic weapon from Bloodborne, the trick weapon, the Soul Cleaver, in both of its forms. Separate items, but still. And for the more recent stuff, we have Let Me Solo Her's Swords and Armor from Elden Ring. Yes, the iconic guy that helped a bunch of Elden Ring scrubs defeat a boss is here in the game. You can roleplay as him, and great. I love that for everyone. I did not like Elden Ring a lot because it was just Dark Souls open world, but come at me in the comments. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. The absolute adversaries are good, but the threat of the absolute is too big. We need the best, the OGs, the Fellowship of the Ring! We've got Merry, we've got Pippin, we've got Boromir, we've got Frodo, we've got Legolas, we've got Gimli, we have Aragorn, and we have Gandalf, and we have Samwise! Also, this is just a save file, not a mod, which I got to set up the actual next mod, which adds their iconic equipment. Well, two of them. We have Antiril, and the One Ring, which, as it should, makes you go invisible, and lets you stay invisible, no matter what. You know, without the downside of Sauron seeing and coming for your ass, it's hilariously broken. Moving out from the set and appropriate stuff, we have a Halo combo. A full set of Master Chief Spartan armor, which only works in the strong male body, sadly and stupidly. Still, despite how out of place it looks really intimidating. That might just be the blood in it though. Kinda looks like Doom Guy like that actually. This mod also comes with the This mod also comes with the MA5C assault rifle, so add another gun to the arsenal. The second part of this combo is the energy sword, which looks kind of awkward with the animation, how it just kind of looks like plastic, but still cool. So grab these and be transported back to the days of yore, where you tell strangers in a magic box about how much you enjoyed betting their mothers. It's still on the topic of badasses and mods that combo, let's go back to a medieval setting with Berserk. One mod for Guts' Berserker armor, and another for his massive, ridiculously fun sword. The armor has several variations, particularly for the helmet, which can be open, closed, and have the cool beast eyes. The only iffy part of it is that it does kind of look plasticky due to the texture and the material of it. It's too matte, not enough reflectiveness. Now, the sword is as ridiculous as it should be, but it does make things awkward, but you know, the look wouldn't be complete without it. Alternatively, if you still want a badass as bad as sword that's more regularly sized, Baldur's Gate 3 now features Dante's Rebellion sword from the Devil May Cry series. The sword looks great and is sure to make that little shit Raphael weep for the first time because of something other than theater. Coming up next, we have— oh god, what the is that? Alright, real quick, there's another item that I almost forgot to talk about. The Glaives of Chaos from Kratos from God of War. They are here, and they look pretty cool, and there's two of them. There's not much else to them, but I nearly forgot to include them in the video, and I'm doing this so late. The video's gonna come out today. Holy sh**. Once upon a time, a legendary man once put on a pair of sunglasses that awakened his true form. And he said of the glasses, it just works. Be like that man and ask the most important question, who's laughing now? But if that eyewear is a bit too gaudy for you, you can get the Deal With It sunglasses instead. By the way, neither of these two are actual equipment. They're accessory items that you need to put in with character creation, or in the magic mirror. I just put them here before I realized that, and I forgot to do them on the actual video where I talk about character customization stuff, so, you know. From lands beyond my realm of understanding comes the Master Sword. It looks like a plastic toy, the kind of ones I had as a kid, but hey, if it does something to tickle you, then it's all good, man. I haven't played a lot of Zelda, so this does nothing for me. Companions, get ready to be hot for teacher. The professor's suit is a modern outfit that does not fit the game, but who cares when you don't have a shirt underneath? It is also dyeable, so you can serve cunt and deaf in whatever colors you choose. Truth, justice, and the American way is another guy's catchphrase, but this guy would probably agree. Captain America's shield not only looks great, it also has some great enchantments, like Faerun's Ass, which gives advantage on persuasion checks, On Thou Left, which increases your jump distance and movement speed, I Can Do This Per Short Rest, which gets you back to 5 HP if you're dropped to 0, and of course, the one enchantment that makes this item broken because every item needs to have the one thing that makes it stupid, the Super Soldier 5e, which gives you resistance to a bunch of shit. Regardless, I love the dash forward, the shield stance, and the other stuff that the shield does, which really makes you feel like you're using Cap's fighting style. This next item belonged to a person of legendary status, a hero whose feats are too many to count, someone righteous beyond measure. This is Mario! If you feel like committing war crimes and being whispered to by dark entities of old, then traveling to the north, killing your friends, then traveling back home, and killing your dad and allies, then there's something wrong with you. Anyway, unrelated, here's Frostmourne, the weapon whose lore became slowly worse over time and nigh incomprehensible with all the retcons and reframing. But pay that no mind and only think of the power it affords you. And that cool-ass Wrath of Lich King cinematic. I mean, look at him, so cool. You wanna be like him, right? I really do like that they echoed Arthas' paladin background and gave the item Frigid's Might. It also comes in 2 variations, one-hander or two-hander. Call 1-800 and grab your Undead Frostword now. This next set of items comes from a place of deep meditation regarding existentialism and the struggle of people devoid of nature's primary drives. Also a deeply horny place, which sometimes feels like the only thing people really remember about that game. Anyway, we have Chewbie's outfit and her weapons. And also, her body even as equipment. Pardon the blood, I was testing stuff on Astarion, and now I'm like this forever. Put these on and ponder life and its meanings in style. You know, Dungeons & Dragons are great and all, but what about knights and dames and princes? Let's look at some mods that go deep with the classic medieval core aesthetic. First, we have the Black Knight armor for all the edgy, forlorn and tortured knights that rebuke the kindly and chivalrous aspect of the archetype. And for those who think it's just a flesh wound. To go with it, you can also grab the Oathbreaker plumed helmet, because, let's be honest, when you saw the stupid sexy Oathbreaker with his stupid sexy armor, you wanted it immediately, right? Am I projecting? That said, the fact that the OG helmet lacks the plume is, come on people, respect the classics. Knights and dames. Armor to be donned by the noble, the valiant, and the wicked. Knights and dames, 12 armor pieces, alternates don't count. How dost thou obtain? Armor stored in the chest, the tutorial chest, and can be purchased from the merchants. By whom may this be donned? 'Tis garb fit for all, said a gnome that wore a dragonborn's chest piece after winning it in a game of hopscotch. How fair is its performance! Taken out of the hands of she who forged it, the armor has been disenchanted. 'Tis the embodiment of sufficient, but there is always transmoggen hands. Thank the gods for transmoggen hands, said the poor sort of a blacksmith that gave it stats. These once belonged to the Dame Wolfwyn, Ziveth Henrietta, and has now passed into thy possession. May it serve thee faithfully on thy path. But wait! Wouldst thou allow the suggestion of a parlor of complimentary mods before thine departure? I love this mod. That description is so good. Did you think Gut's sword was all we had to offer for you size queens and kings and monarchs? Well, think twice, we also have the Hammer of the Absolute. Because when you have a big-ass hammer, everything's a nail.
This thing that we call failure is not the falling down, but the staying down. Mary Pickford.
It's more friendly, I guess. Not enough big hammers in this game, so, you know, it's me approved.
Oh, it happened again. Keep on trying, don't let it get to you.
Okay, so we had a nice serving with the professor's outfit, but it's time to serve a whole f***ing banquet. You know who serves death, misery, and spiders? Loaf. Loaf does. I guess cunt too, but mostly the other things. Still, here's a priestess of loaf attire. Look how dark, how spidery, how flowy it is. Definitely given mother, as in brutal matriarchy. Orin also serves blood and pain, but also cunt. This mother identified that and decided to make some new versions of Orin's outfit that are less, how do I put it, wet, meaty? And more ethically sourced and showy. Let's be honest, darling, there is just not enough stockings in Faerun, which is a missed opportunity considering the incredible rare materials the realms have to offer. But one brave mother has zeroed in this issue and produced the scaled stockings. Now you can feel just as powerful as a dragon, and just as sexy, while wearing the skin of the realm's most dangerous beasts. That's right, those are dragon scales. Don't pay attention to the fact that they're metallic. No good dragons were harmed in the making of these. There is no path more lonely than the path to serving. So bring your companion with you with the Astarion corset set. Get that bitch inside that tight suffocating contraption and serve together all the way to the gate. The gate. I love how Wheel says the gate. He says it very specific. The gate. The gate. Alright, that's it. I'll see you later. Almost everything I ever wanted to do with Mage Hand, I couldn't. It's a really underwhelming cantrip in the game for many reasons. Therefore, Mage Hand Fix is a must-have mod. It allows Mage Hand to interact with doors, levers, pick items, push people, attack people, pickpocket people, disarm traps, pick locks, and it also removes the cantrip's cooldown. Basically, that useless cantrip can do things now. Yay! Dispel Magic is a great spell from the tabletop game. Perhaps removed for being too useful, which is a shame because with some clever thinking and restrictions, it's perfectly fine. But if you miss it, Dispel Magic Eng Ita that's a stupid joke. Brings it back. It works by allowing you to target a creature, and creatures only, unlike the tabletop, and then dispelling any third or lower level spells cast on it. Simple as simple can be. But if you want complicated as complicated can be, and also miss other 5e spells, well, 5e spells puts a lot of 5e spells in. 5e spells, 5e spells, 5e spells. Just keep saying it. The list of spells is very long, and some of them have adjustments to make them workable in game. To shout out a couple spells, we have utility things like Unseen Servant, which can't do much aside from whistle and some prestidigitation shit, and Detect Magic. We got some cool summons that range from the useful to the slightly comedic like Flock of Familiars, and we also have a bunch of offensive spells that also do useful stuff like Lightning Lure, Wither and Bloom, etc.
You think you're funny, do you?
The Deck of Many Things is an awesome, iconic D&D item that is now in the game thanks to GWL. This Deck of Many Things. If you don't know the item, it's a deck of magic cards, and when you draw one of them, a thing happens. Usually a big game-changing thing. Like being teleported somewhere, someone randomly becoming your mortal enemy, getting a legendary item, etc. The deck, of course, works a bit differently here due to limitations of the game, but it's still cool. There are 3 versions of the deck, 2 of them incomplete, with the legendary version having all the cards. All of these you can find as you play. Your character can draw 1 card per long rest by clicking the item. Get it and let chaos reign. Larian sadly has already said that there will be no DM mode for BG3 unlike Divinity. Which is obvious now since they officially said they aren't doing anything more with BG3, but I wrote this so fucking long ago, so give me a break. Someone heard that and made what they themselves describe as a poor man's version of DM2s. Dungeon Master spells add spells to summon any character in the game, make them controllable or not allies or enemies, and then trigger combat. So in a way you can kind of use BG3 to solve D&D combat. Pretty neat. At a certain point, there's not a lot to do with your gold in BG3. It is there only to line your pockets. So why not use it to gild yourself in gold? Mevon spells and gold summons was a thing that isn't a thing anymore, but I recorded footage, so I'm showing it to you, but I won't bother expanding on it. Okay, thanks. Animate dead is cool, but you aren't really animating your dead enemies, are you? You're just summoning some random zombies and skelly bones. True Animate Dead allows you to actually raise your enemies from the dead with their visage intact. They stick around for 1 hour, so plenty of time for shenanigans. Start your own zombie apocalypse, go crazy. This is a ring that lets you turn to Sceleritas Fel. That's it, that's the mod. I just low-key love how much of a freak he is, so embodying him for a while is really fun. Baromancy has spawned so many memes, so much insanity, and has also been formalized now as one of the great schools of magic. The mod Baromancy gives you a Grimoire spell that allows you to summon all types of barrels without limits, so you can set up the most insane shit without having the muscles to back it up. And by that I mean, you know, without having to break your back dragging a bunch of barrels around. Simple, funny, cool. Look, let's face it, sometimes you just want to be alone. But not alone. You just don't want to interface with people. Well, it is for those times that we have pets. And summons, I guess. And boy do we have summons for all kinds of people. Now, unless stated otherwise, assume these are all broken, okay? Summons due to D&D's flat math are already strong, but most of these are just utterly broken because they're given for free without downsides and have absurd abilities. You know, my old RPG group had a pet chicken, causing the group to be named the Cockfighters, because they tried to make it fight during the first session. Anyways, it was like the Ranger's pet. There's a video on them, go watch it. This mod enables me to actually get them back by adding the chicken option to the Find Familiar spell. Summon a clucky chook to keep you company. The chicken that's called Mozart, his name is Mozart, can peck people. Jesus, that's a lot of blood. Run around like crazy and lay egg. Level 1 conjuration spell, exactly what it sounds like. It's a strength save? It's a ritual? Also, it can summon chickens of its own. Wait, what? The chicken spells are a bit awkward. They take a bit to take effect. I imagine because the game is given time for the spell animation to play out, but since it's a chicken and they can't do the spell animation, there's just an awkward pause. Oh, they're only gonna multiply. Now, aside from the chicken horde aspect of this is a fairly balanced mod. I mean, it's just a new, different type of familiar. He has 1 strength, 3 charisma? Oh, come on. They have much better charisma than that. Now, here's a question you have never asked or thought about, but what would happen to Okami if he fucked Raiden? Well, Raiju would happen. This is a pretty over-the-top companion, but hey, maybe that's what you want. Definitely not balanced, though. His lightning step. Dash at your target with lightning speed and receive hamstring for enemies can't score a critical hit and you reduce all incoming damage by 2? Lightning manipulation consume 4 lightning charge to heal yourself. Like, I'm pretty sure you can one-shot a Starion. Almost. Call the hand of villain tough to give you a hand. No cooler or funnier summon around, I swear. Now, this is a fine balanced summon, except for one thing. Enemies take double necrotic damage when around it. Granted, the hand has low health, so it can be easily dispatched, but cast and inflict wounds with this thing near the target is monstrous. Did you know his nickname in high school was Villain Fought? Back then, his hand was famous for a different reason. Look, I know, this is page 31, give me a break. This is the cutest beholder ever. Aw, who's the evilest little meatball in all of Faerun, huh? You are! Okay, what the fuck? Nightwing doesn't have the juicy peaches that the actual Nightwing has, but he is just as cute. You can find the bat and some food for it in the vibrating tree stump item that Blurg is selling. I also like how the item's descriptions essentially tells you the story of you finding the Nightwing. It's very cute. You can hear the vibration coming from the hollow of the stump. Something seems to have made it its nest. Hidden inside the cavity, you find a little bat. There is also a version of the mod with a feeding minigame of sorts, where sometimes Nightwing will get hungry and cry out for food, and then you have to feed it treats you can buy. Nightwing's favorite treat, this juicy frog, is sure to sate his hunger for a little while. That's a silly frog. Oh shit, did I eat it? Oh, what the fuck? 300 turns of fire resistance? And lightning, and cold, and poison, and necrotic, and thunder, and acid, and piercing? What frog was that? And the best part? He grows with you as you level up, much like the squirrel. Hello, nurse. Let's be honest, her being undead is not going to stop most of you. So get the Amulet of Tormented Souls from the good doctor, and summon one of those cute poor souls trapped in the House of Healing. Seriously, I actually did feel bad for some of those sisters. There is one annoying thing about it though, is that it needs a separate VFX mod. God, just put the VFXs with the mod. Don't make me download a separate thing that has a pretty big size just for this. Come on. I mean, I get why, but still, kind of annoying. Also, the author himself has said that this is probably pretty imbalanced. Scratch is a good boy and really cute, but he's missing something. Like, some pizzazz, you know? Maybe he needs some fire, or radiance, or necrotic stuff, oh, just a bunch of new colors that make him do a bunch of new stupid shit. This is where JWL Scratch's back comes in. Did you know that Karlach had a pet rock named Craig? Wait, he can knock people prone? I didn't. It's actually a line only between her origin version and Halsin, but it's there. And this mod brings Craig to life into her adventures in BG3. There's only space enough in Karlach's heart for one of us! You know, I have this idea for a thing that would definitely catch on. Pocket monsters. They're just little critters, we put them in your pocket and then you carry them with you everywhere you go and you can do stuff with them, you know? I'm sure some people would try to make them battle, but that's a maniac's idea. Anyway, bad jokes aside, the Pocket Hermit Crab passively grants you some boons like expertise in perception and advantage on skill checks with it. It also grants you Ward and Shell that protects you from some damage, and it also gives you the Retreat skill, which makes your pet fart out a cloud of magical darkness to hide you. Look, the raising that spell is cool and all, but it would be cooler with guns. So get Tombstone Undead now! The mod adds 3 new options to the Animate Undead spell. The Skeleton parentheses Rifleman, the Zombie parentheses Boomstick, and the Skeleton parentheses Musketeer. They wield weapons from the Firearms mod that is also a requirement for this mod to work too. See you later. Look, I think we can all agree that BG3's companions are perfect. That they are cool and full of character and diverse. Or I thought we could, but apparently some of you have gotten too big for your britches and think you can improve upon them. Very well, let's look at these. Weak! You look at Shadowheart and think, I can convince her to get rid of those bangs. I look at her and I love her not in spite of them, but because of them. Bangs are awesome and fashion is going to agree with me again in 10 years. Then not again for another 10 years, then again in the next 10 years after that. Thieves! thieves! As God is my witness, I will have my revenge! Okay, that's it. None of you are allowed near scissors ever again. I hate this, and you'll never see the gates of heaven. It's lae'zel University years. It's honestly kind of a vibe. Mintaro, she was a theater kid about to do a production of Grease. God, she looks hot. I don't hate these, actually. I'm poking fun, but I don't actually hate any of this, okay? I just very strongly disagree with some options. Romantic long hair for Will. I don't get what's romantic about it. I mean, it's cool, sure, but why romantic? How can hair be romantic? I like it though. We need more long dreads on characters in games. Like, they look cool. There's also Will's alternate devil eyes, which this is super neat. I love these. We have some Carlock reworks, which you guys keep reaching for perfect when it's already in your hands. This is the kind of folly that led to Babel. You ruin us all! Now, here's some things for Halsin. Quick and clean Halsin. Did you know Halsin actually has dirt baked into his textures? Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, he's a magical forest hippie, that is, a druid. Here we have a mod that can change that about him if you want him to be slightly clean when you guys get freaky. Though honestly, I can't tell the difference. And also, we have some fangs for him, to give him more of that feral look. They are kind of hard to notice generally because, you know, they're inside his mouth. But when he talks, you can't see him at points, so I really like it. I think it's really cool. It's a creative thing that I didn't think about. And to me, these are the best companion mods. Not ones that change them, but like add little details to them. For Shadowheart, we also have a little cool mod that removes her Char headpiece, if you do not like it. Though you also have to get these other mod to remove the Char headpiece crease, which is baked into her character model, so. Still talking about companion mods, we have a whole slew of mods that just gender bend all of Baldur's Gate. To begin with, we have Chadheart, then Mintaro, which sounds so much like a Mortal Kombat character, I guess because Kintaro's like one letter away from it. We have Carl, Boyzel, Halcina, and finally, Fensterion, because even straight men apparently can't resist the call of the twink. Now, there are gender-bending voices for all these companions, but, you know, they are done using AI, so just appreciate the tonal dissonance between those male and female voices on male and female presenting bodies. I think that this is cool, actually, so, you know, maybe you like it too, I don't know.
Yes, I belong in here, I just have a deep voice.
Now, we have also a whole slew of mods that are trying to beautify the characters, which again, stupid, they are already beautiful. But no, some people really want to just iron characters' faces, remove their quote-unquote imperfections, make them younger, and force them into stupid beauty standards, which is dumb. Because, you know, beauty standards are dumb and sexist and racist because of, you know, history. Not to mention the stupid effect that kind of sex appeal only mindset has an art as a whole. Like those gacha games where every single character looks like they just came from the Colin factory because they all look the same. Showing yourself only things that appear to your current sensibilities and never exploring things outside of it is giving yourself from integrated things that you'll never know are even out there. But it's a free country, supposedly. So you do you, boo. But that means that I'll also do the same. Listen, jokes aside, let me get on my soapbox for a second here. Is this truly what beauty is? A monolith, immutable? This seems more like uniformity to me. Not a pore out of place, everyone looking the same because anything that strays from this very narrow definition is ugly. Small noses, white skin, discreet cheeks, etc. Beauty to me is the spice of life, it's variety. It's many-faced, it's imperfect. It's not cope to love imperfections. It's not a message against striving to be your better self. If you don't like something, do change, go to the gym, get a new haircut, etc. Loving your imperfections is not accepting yourself at 50% of what you could be, but getting to 90 and loving the last 10% of imperfections you have. Because nothing is perfect, and they are you. So yeah, those mods worry me because if the BG3 companions are already beautiful, but in a realistic way, therefore imperfect, showing creases, scars, and so on, then have we really arrived at a place where that isn't enough? I'm overthinking this, I know, but I see a lot of young people who hate themselves, and I can't help but think they've learned that from looking around them and seeing media and ads that constantly tell them indirectly or not that they aren't good enough. The rhetoric of some people that also insist beauty standards are innate things and not influenced by socio-cultural norms is also not helping. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Judy Garland was called a pig in ponytails. People's opinions of Benedict Cumberbatch and even Anya Taylor-Joy also are here. Modern examples. Anyways, not saying the modders are malicious or bad people, but we as a society in the age of social media just gotta reckon with this shit. It's killing us from the inside. So instead, what we're gonna be looking at are cool mods that give them a little bit more imperfections. So we have slightly older Asterion. Shadowheart also has another option, which is mature Shadowheart, which, I mean, both of them are like hundreds of years old. I know they're elves, but still. What's the harm in making them slightly older? We also have slightly more scarred lae'zel and more prominent scars for Shadowheart if you're very into the scars. Which, honestly, I think in the base game are kind of barely even visible at most times, so I do really like these. I have a lot of mods to remove makeup. Remove Aylin's makeup, Karlach's makeup, Shadowheart's makeup, because, you know, these are warrior women. When do they have time to apply blush or eyeliner? A lot of time, because we rest at camp a lot, but still, it's just a different aesthetic. But look, fine, I know some people just like the sex appeal, some people want the beautification, so fine. Here's a mod for you.
Such a tease.
A Raphael redressing mod, which is a mod that makes him sexier by slightly open up his blouse because everybody that plays this game is too damn horny. Not me though. I'm normal. Don't look at my other videos. If you haven't heard about it, BG3 had quite a lot of cut content. A lot of it people have data mined from the game files, and so other people have made mods out of it. It's so awesome that we can get back things probably cut due to time or money or whatever else. First off, did you know that Karlach's horns were supposed to glow at some point? They even pulse in the same rate as her heart. Not that you'd notice that because it's very hard to get a camera that shows both her horns and her heart at the same time. Believe me, I tried. Just kidding, I didn't. Why would I? It's clear that it wouldn't happen. Small, cool. Next, we have Gale's concept art armor. You know what? I think there's a reason why this one stayed a concept. A bit too garish for me, but it's fine work nonetheless by the mod author. It also comes in two versions, normal and sexy. He also comes with gloves, but he only wears one of them, because I guess he likes Michael Jackson, I don't know. And following suit, we have asymmetrical Shadowheart concept outfit. The idea behind this one, I think, is that Shadowheart got tired of having two arms and is desperately hoping someone sees a weak spot and severs the other one in battle. Okay, so I've been negative on the concept art mod so far, but that's only because they are bad. Except for this one, concept art styled Withers, which is hella dope. The old man definitely feels like he's missing some spice currently, and this design fixes that, without adding too much. Or maybe this is just my Egyptian aesthetic bias showing. F***ing love that shit. Now, Bald Deity with historic cut dialogue works exactly as advertised on the box. It's not enough to be Daddy's favorite little monster, you can now have people acknowledge your willing worship of an objectively awful thing. Just like what happens to your uncle every Thanksgiving when he brings up politics. You don't scare me, I serve something far more terrifying.
Bahal, right. He'll not bother us. He's far too busy using blood as finger paint and taking credit for other people's kills.
Another deity we saw is Shar, which also had its own dialogue. And it works great, or at least I think so. It's never really a good sign when the known issue section of a mod says, "You tell me." You don't scare me, I serve something far more terrifying.
Shar won't bother us here. She's far too busy writing poetry and crying about how much people prefer her sister. You know, I was gonna give you a swift kick up the arse and show you the door.
Lyle City needs your help. To go with the horn, we have Datamine Karlach. I think it looks really cool. It's a different vibe from her current Golden Retriever self, but enhances the idea that she isn't the monster you might initially think, because she definitely looks meaner. Do you long for buggier days? Then get a Starion ZA outfit now. Again, I prefer the more colorful version we got now, but it's still pretty cool. Now there's a bunch of items that actually can't be acquired in the game, but are in the files. Were they removed because of balance, redundancy, just being plain bad? Who knows? Who cares? You can now get them with restored content, work in progress. I'm not going to go over all of them because there are so many, but there are many and they are very diverse. The cool part is that you can get these items also by just naturally playing the game, as they are placed in locations and inside enemies. You don't just buy them or get them from the tutorial chest. Talking about other things that were in the game files but not available in the game, we have hidden vanilla dice. Some of these are a bit too goofy for me, but they just might be what you want. And there's a really wide selection of them. Now, there's a subsection of people that really like Ortash's letter where he says Slytherin wet malleus. Larian themselves didn't like that and ended up removing it, but if you are part of those fans and are adamant about keeping it in, I guess this mod that restores it is for you, weirdo. Alright, that's it. I'll see you later. Okay, so neither the companions nor the game are actually really perfect. Nothing is, except me. I'm pretty awesome. So let's explore some mods that, to me, change things for the better. Okay, most annoying actions in the game on 3, 2, 1, If you said anything other than cunning action, bind pack weapon, and dancing lights, you're f***ing wrong. Having to recast those last two is awful. And when, as a rogue, are you ever going to sneak with an action and not a cunning action? These, respectively, make those two spells night permanent, and makes the cunning action default to the bonus action via toggleable passive. Now, let's look at some minor UI changes, starting with icons. Let's be honest, using disguise self is hell. You really have to look at the icons to tell all of them apart, and even then, it's hard with all the bloody elves here. Well, better disguise self helps by color coding them, either by race or gender, dealer's choice. The race is the best option though by far, but for some reason it's not hosted on the Nexus but in a different site. Regardless, the link to that is on the list in the description. Talking about color coding, why are the PlayStation buttons all white? I can't believe we need a mod for that. It's so much better this way. Look at it. You know what other spell icons grind my gears? Salts my sweets? Kills my crops? The f***ing hex icons. They all look the f***ing same. You could not tell them apart at a glance. So this mod places text over them to make them more convenient. If you're watching this video, chances are you are on what? Your 5th playthrough of this bloody game? So I'm guessing that about 4 playthroughs ago you got sick of the spinning dice. Well, plus UI faster roll saves you from button mashing after every single check by making those shiny rocks click-clack at the speed of light. Get those net ones in the game as fast as you get them in real life. Did you notice that the crabs are kinda flat? Honestly, I kinda did. It's the first time I actually noticed one of those tiny details that you usually only found out about online after seeing extremely specific mods that correct them. Like this one! Less flat crabs is... You know what it is, you know what it does, come on now, it's in the title, why am I here? Doesn't it suck when you die and lose the afterglow of your little BDSM sesh? Woo!
Your voice sounds so sweet, dear one.
Heartbreaking stuff, but with Loviatar's love after death, you can keep that nice, albeit extremely situational buff around. You know what should have more value in medieval settings? Books and paintings. I am saying this entirely because of merchant and logical reasons, and not because I have a compulsion to hoard both of those things. GWL, our dealer, makes both be worth much more, but also weight more. Though, to be honest, I'm still just gonna get them because I think they're neat. Talking about GWL, their other mod, Dissonant Instruments, is the next one. It's weird that we have an entire equipment slot that only one class really uses regularly, right? The instrument slot. But what if it was more of a trinkets or bauble slot? And what if they did special little things, like increasing carrying weight, or making you feel drunk, or giving you a cantrip? Seriously, this is actually one of the coolest mods in this list, because it really adapts the D&D aspect of getting random magical items that you can cleverly use for hijinks. Now of course, there's not a lot of ways you can use them, but still, this is super cool. Like getting a bug of infinite beer and that you equip and that makes you drunk forever is a really cool idea. Useful? Hell no, but still funny. Actually, I should make a video about that. I'm gonna make a video about that. Did you know carry weight effects don't stack in this game? Well, guess what stacking carry weight does? Now, this isn't just a BG3 thing, but sometimes RPGs really lack a nice, gentle response. Take poor Skuna or Will for example. Not exactly egregious examples, but still. The Be Nice mod solved this by editing the text and for Skuna, by making the mod dialogue choice available to everyone. The same idea of making origin and class lock dialogue available to everyone is present also on Kicking Rider's other mods. Halston Tell Me About Yourself additional player responses and additional Grove Raid dialogue options, allowing for more flavorful responses. Alternatively, if you don't like being nice, you can get Being Mean to Asterion, which was made as a proof of concept by the author, but I think it's too funny not to mention. I mean, look at this.
I was ready to decorate the ground with your innards.
You're stupid.
Indeed we are.
For the last dialogue mod, if you are one of those thirsty-ass Raphael stands, here's a mod that lets you flirt with that insufferable bastard. Alright, these next few mods still change things, but they're more subjective about whether they're improving things and not necessarily better. Though I still thought they were worth highlighting. Isn't it a shame that we can't have everyone present for dialogue? For their little interjections or random banter when we're walking around, or their little quips? Wouldn't it be nice to see everyone walking around like pals, finally? Like friends? Now, I know what you're thinking. There are mods for that, like mods that make the party unlimited, so you can just grab everyone and just go. But those mods completely break game balance, right? Because everyone is also gonna be present in combat. So this is where Sit This One Out Chew comes in. It gives you a spell that you can use on your party members that will make them disappear when combat triggers. Or make them disappear just in general and only appear in dialogue. Because let's be honest, having all the companions following you around can kinda clutter things. Like there are a lot of them. When they whipped it out for the first time, you thought, that's too big. It just won't fit. And when it reached your lips, it all but confirmed that. That flute is way too big. I mean, look at it, it's huge. Smaller flute fixes this egregious mistake. It's that kind of mod for people who can't help but be anally retentive about details. And there are also other mods in this vein too that make other items very small. Obviously, the reason why the items are this big is to facilitate visibility since the game's camera is usually very far away, but if you play with a closer camera with mods or with a controller, this will be great for immersion. Or don't bother with it, because come on, did you really even notice? Immersive loading screens highly improves the save gun lifestyle by adding different loading screens for you to peer at with your peepers, as you proceed completely invalidating any challenge this game really has. Come on, you saw those minotaurs, you saw those ogres and you thought, man, I really wish I could be the one to wield a huge stick. Well, I found a big stick allows you to do just that. It used to be that you can actually bug the game and use the minotaur weapons and ogre weapons yourself, but again, this was a bug and it was patched out, but this mod makes it so it's totally legit. You just gotta get those guys to drop their weapons with command spell and then you can have fun. Now, this is a cool homebrew rule. Critical miss as consequences allows both you and your enemies an attack of opportunity upon a nat 1 on an attack roll against them, or you. So, you know, critical miss as consequence. The mods are so self-explanatory, why am I here? Wayless consumables, goddammit, I'm gonna explain it to you. Okay, let's go. You aren't using your stockpile of consumables. So you got like 1,000 potions in your pockets, really pulling those pants down. Wayless consumables relieves that, but does not cure you of your stubbornness, sadly. Now here's a couple mods regarding Origin. Interesting Origins takes the narrative ideas companions have, like Karlach's Inferno Engine, Shadowheart's connection to Shar, etc., and gives them unique mechanical consequences. Things like Karlach burning people, Shadowheart being able to see in the dark, etc. Pretty cool idea, though I feel like the bonuses, skills, and attributes that it also gives is a bit too much. I mean, their abilities are already represented in the game via their character sheet, so, you know. Though I think there's a version you can get of the mod that doesn't have that. Don't like your dirge remembering that they are Baldurian for some f***ing reason, but they don't remember anything else? Well, be a true amnesiac and get this More Amnesia for the Haunted One mod. It does that by simply removing the Baldurian tag from the dirge so that none of the dialogue around it will trigger, like if you made a character that came from somewhere else. Or nowhere else in this case. You know what's better than one backstory?
That pounding blood obscures who you are.
2 backstories. Dark Urge All Origins gives the Dark Urge origin to all origins. That's a lot of origins. However, I'm sure there's definitely some bugs with this one when plotlines converge, so watch out for that. You know, I get this question all the time. Where do you keep it? In your pants? You have no bag of holding, so how are you carrying all those corpses? Well, my friend, it's obviously in my trusty corpse bag, which is created by the Send Bodies to Camp mod. The mod essentially allows you to send all corpses you find straight to camp by making them weigh nothing when you are near them. It's essentially an easy way to do the thing I did for my QI free run, and is therefore something I'll be using once I pick that series up again. Tired of inventory sorting? Well, so am I. Seriously, I think I've generally spent hours actually organizing shit in this game. Suffice to say, although a bit of inventory management is not bad, hours of it is a bit much. Bags Reforged has a bunch of, you'll never guess, bags, and not only are labeled so you don't have to remember which bag is which, these bags also automatically collect and sort your items. Collect from the inventory, I mean, you of course still have to pick the items up. Wearable Backpacks by Cody Hansen. Wearable Backpacks adds a variety of rarities of backpacks purchasable from vendors. The rarer the pricier, and the more they increase your carry weight. They are equipable on your instruments a lot like the Baubles mod. Not only is this a great addition to the game, adding a sensible and sensical pricey thing to use your money for, but they also are so cute as they are shown in your character model. Okay, I admit, this mod is just cute, and that's the only reason that it's here. Companions Packs adds a custom backpack to every character with their name and color coding them, while also giving them cute little icons that match their personalities and appearances. Weirdly, the author actually said that they use it to keep the companions' iconic original clothes, and I actually wanted it for the exact same reason. There's no reason to keep them really, we're just sentimental I guess. Talking about those iconic looks, why don't we actually get a mod that makes it worth keeping them? Here is iconic companion armors with oomph. Do you like your companion's look? Regret having to give it up for a fugly armor item that is just mechanically better? Well, this mod gives you a unique version of your companion's armors in the tutorial chest. None of the new armors are broken by any means, only marginally better. So it's more like you're keeping their iconic look until you find something truly worth putting on. Adamantine armor. When I first got those idols of Shar and Saloon, I was like, ooh, this is going to become something. And then it didn't. I mean, it kinda do, but doesn't it feel like the holy idols of very relevant goddesses to the game should have some sort of effect? Well, this mod author agrees with me. Improved idols of Shar and Saloon give those items auras that fit their goddess's type. Shar gives you proficiency in deception and stealth, And Snooty gives you proficiency in perception and insight. I love how those respective skills are very opposite to each other. Stealth versus perception, deception versus insight. Just, perfect. Do you want to be a werewolf? Just drink werewolf passive's potion and boom, that's it. No brutal bite necessary. I was then going to make a joke here about Teen Jacob, but that reminded me that that book came out 20 years ago, and that made me feel like I'm turning to dust. Werewolves have 3 different appearances to suit your taste. Ability-wise, they have what you expect. Claws, bites, massive leaps, and the Barbarian Rage. I prefer how Chet from Critical Role gets it right as he transforms, because werewolves are pretty much rage monsters, right? So you should get the rage immediately, but it works one way or the other. I feel like this should be more of a feat and not just a potion, but regardless, it's pretty damn fucking cool. Ring of Golden Recovery is honestly game breaking and borderline cheating. It allows you to recover any spell slot you want by paying a fee in gold. So yeah, it's a really powerful thing, and the fees aren't that cheap to be honest. So there is a cost, and I can kind of get behind that, but still, this throws the balance way off. Fluorite shards, what are they good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again now. Well, I guess you can sell them, but they aren't worth the hassle. They are too annoying to get. Except Blurred now sells this mod's titular toothpick, named so because giants used it as such once upon a time, and now you can use it to easily get those worthless gems faster. Somebody, please mod something cool to use them for, I'm begging you. You know what I loved during the 53 Things video? Having to slowly click on every party member to make them all play their instruments to make that bard band section. Well, Perform for Party says no more. Now everybody can easily play together with just one click of a button. And for the musically disinclined, we have Perform a Dance, so you can join in the merriment in your own way. It's not a particularly good way, but beggars can't be choosers. And let's face it, it's only a matter of time before somebody mods in a K-pop dance. Kissing your loved one is great, I love it. But what if you want a more platonic way to show affection? Hugs is here for you. Give your loved ones, friends, acquaintances, or even enemies the affection they may, or most likely, may not deserve. Did you know characters outside cutscenes don't really have expressions? No? Me neither, because this game is from far away 90% of the time. But hey, if that knowledge now haunts your thoughts like they haunt mine, you can download Loon's Idle Expressions, which gives characters idle expressions. Here you go again, explained self-explained. I will say though, I'm 90% sure this was made for sex stuff. Though, a surprising number of technological advancements were too, so, you know. I want to punch Vlaakith right on her stupid face. Drawing that mustache on her portraits is just not enough. Is it sad that we don't have a boss fight with her? Well, that's something that this mod author thought. Fight Vlaakith allows us to summon her at any moment as both an ally or a foe. She is very strong with a lot of HP, many spells, and etc. She was very much designed to be a boss fight for later in the game, so have fun. There's one 5e mechanic missing from BG3. I mean, there's probably more, but I'm just talking about one specific one right now. Granted, the reason why it's not in the game is probably because it's hardly ever used. Grappling. Dr. Keckville's grappling framework adds it to the game. It doesn't have any custom animations or anything, but it does work surprisingly well. It's just like in the tabletop. You use the grapple action, and upon a successful contested athletics row, the grappler reduces the movement speed of the enemy by 0. If the grappler moves like normal, the grapple breaks. However, you can move slowly around with your grapple target if you want. And you should, because it's really funny. You can also make a grapple chain if you're bored. Or make it a YouTube video. There used to be a mod called Mysterious Stranger that would spawn the Dream Guardian like the perk of the same name from the Fallout games. It's not available anymore, so please, somebody, either fix this or remake this, I beg of you. It's such a fun concept. Why the fuck can't I hit the training dummy? What is it there for? Nothing. Say it again now, goddammit. Better Dummy fixes this by allowing you to target it, making it useful to check your damage if you're a math nerd or to test new modded weapons. Unless you're like me and prefer testing them on your friends, because you just can't help wanting to see their blood, their precious, delicious blood, coming out from their perfect,
soon-to-be corpse bodies.
Anyways, I'm never really going to use it, but it just bothered me that I couldn't target it. Sure, Wither's an immortal undead mummy, but surely even he could use a little cozy place for himself. Oh my god, I just realized I could have done such a funny pun on the Big Milker's Withers mod. From mummy to mommy. God damn it, that was a wasted opportunity. But surely even he could use a little cozy place for himself. Wither Stand adds a little tent object for you to place for him. To place it, you will need another mod, the Decor mod, which allows you to place static objects in the game world anywhere you please. It's great for decorating your own camp. Who'd have thought that we'd have base building in BG3 because of mods? Blunders never cease. BG3 uses the D&D 5th edition's rule set, alongside some small house rules. But what if you prefer the good old days of yore? You are in luck, because by this point you've probably figured out that whenever I pose a problem, I'm going to follow it up with a solution. I've done that unwittingly so many times in this video, you're probably sick of it even. Sorry, but I'm in too deep to change things, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. I mean, if you got this far, you probably have been dealing with it pretty fine, so. Anyways, Vintage Rules is here for you. It focuses mostly on flat numbers, translating its advantage and advantage into number penalties or bonuses, and it also does some other crap. I'm not reading all that. But anyways, point being, if you want older D&D stuff, use Vintage Rules. If you dislike the large random chance inherent in a game adapted in a TTRPG, Combat Overhaul might be just what you want. It still rolls dice for your damage and stuff, but it rolls them on top of a flat damage number so that the minimum amount of damage increases, but the maximum stays the same, making the damage more consistent. Of course, this does not just apply to you, but also your enemies, and to healing and damage both. And it tries to keep the balance and difficulty of the game by also overhauling other things like value, cost, and even the mechanics of certain spells when necessary. There is also an alternative version of the mod that makes the damage number more reliant on your attributes. So in a nutshell, download this mod if you don't like being packed by Lady Luck. Personally, I already call her mommy. PvP Make War adds shoe spells that allow you to fight your friends in multiplayer. I'd showcase it, but I don't have any friends. Isn't it very convenient that there are no Mind Flayers alive in Nullight before the Helm? The Mind Flayer still alive fixes this contrivance by keeping the fella that shoved the tadpole into you alive. The mod author promises that he's beatable, and I'm sure he playtested this with every class, right? Right? JK, it's probably fine. It'll just make you sweat right off the bat. It's crazy that BG3 is so good and has no microtransactions. What is Iron thinking? We need loot boxes stat! GWL Scalarita Fell's Coffers of Forlorn Treasures takes care of this. Certain specific enemies and other more generic ones will now sometimes drop a coffer that you can then open to get a nice random item. It ranges from trash to useful stuff, but mostly trash. Just like real loot boxes. Critical fails are stupid. If there's no reward for critical successes, then why should there be a punishment for the contrary? I know it's an auto success, but how many checks are actually over 20? Like 1, I think. It's stupid, and disable critical fails on skill and ability checks is good and should be a permanent fixture in your load order. There is nothing quite like the thrill of being stupid and rolling for stats. Get in on the thrill with choose rolled abilities and let Lady Luck f over your whole playthrough. Combat Lottery works as an alternative to the Sit This Out mod I covered before. Instead of you choosing who's going to participate in combat while you're walking around with every single companion in your party, this mod will do it for you randomly. It's a great way to keep things interesting. Random enemies grants all enemies random buffs upon combat. The buffs may vary from inconsequential to forcing you to rethink your whole strategy. It shouldn't be game breaking, but consistently interesting. If you are in a particularly masochistic mood, however, you can grab realistic carry weight. I feel like the whole carry weight mechanic is a bit pointless when you can just throw everything back to camp anytime, anywhere, but sure, get this if you feel like the game could use more inventory management. You freak. You can also grab no fast travel if you really feel like you've been a bad boy. Girl, no binary peep, I don't know what you are. You know what I like? When games make me poor. When money is a desperate commodity that leaves my hand the moment it reaches it because I desperately need to buy potions to survive. BG3 is too generous, and this mod is one step towards not making you in the game as a goddamn billionaire. Because they shouldn't exist. I remember being thoroughly confused by prepared spells when I began playing 5e. Now, it's not just confusing for new players, like regarding which classes do or don't have them, it also really doesn't translate that well to the game, the video game, I mean, so spell preparation begun gets rid of that awkward mechanic. Hey, are you a doctor? No? Then why the f do you get to stabilize your dying friends? Well, now you need a license for that. Medical help adds a medicine check to help your down mates. Okay, now let's take a look at some mods that help with the looting experience of the game. Search the Room allows you to make a perception check when you crouch to spot valuables in a room, instead of having to go container by container. I like that it uses your skill, and you can just use it if you feel lazy in a room, but still manually search other rooms if you want. Super lovely and creative. Aura of Revealing is also a nice alternative, if you don't feel like relying on a check to get your goodies. It works as a passive that you can disable whenever you want, and there are multiple versions of the passive, each revealing the items by their rarity, and then color code in their containers. So if you're only after the real good shit, you can toggle off the common item aura. Either of these mods are good because they help you keep tabs on what you have already searched and what you haven't due to the glowing. But if you are the kind of person that does like all those common trash items, GWL one man's trash and consequential loot is for you. Instead of constantly having to deal with rotten tomatoes and carrots and cabbages as a reward for your obsessive compulsive clicking of barrels and crates, this mod rewards you with 45 unique items that will each spawn once randomly. Collect them all or sell them for big amounts of cash money. Dough, paper, or whatever the kids say nowadays. Or the rappers. One of those. Still from the same lovely person, GWL Gather Round adds to the crafting element of the game by making survival less f***ing useless by giving you the ability to forage for supplies whenever, wherever. We're meant to be together. It requires you to pass a DC 10 check for survival or nature investigation. Okay, I admit I exaggerated how important this would make survival, but still, on a success, you gain materials for the game's crafting system that most people don't even know exists, really, or use. It's a very underutilized part of the game, because honestly, you don't kind of need it. But still, I mean, you know. Now, with all these goodies you'll be getting, you might also want to grab Quick Sell to Withers remotely. Mark your items as wares, crouch, and you right away feel your pockets get heavier. With gold. With the new difficulties added after the game's release, no one should have any reason to complain that the game's too easy now. But in case you are a freak, which we know you are, let's be honest, here are a few mods to make your overall existence at the gate more miserable. There were a bunch of mods in this vein that I put here, but like, a lot of them didn't work for one reason or another, like Satan's Hardcore mode or the one mod that made you play the whole game with 1 HP. So now we only have a couple, so here you go. Start with nothing like new in the Matrix is a very specific title that I kinda love. But it makes sense, right? Why would the Mind Flayers leave their prisoners with stuff? Arrogance, I guess, which makes sense for them, but still very convenient, I say. Plus classes Wretch is pretty much the Soulsborne origin where you start without anything. But additionally, you could also just never multiclass and try to complete the game by just being a Wretch. All you get as you level up is HP, and the slowly increasing sense that this honor mode playthrough was a horrible idea. Additionally, there's also a subclass version of it instead if you want that. So that you can, you know, play with a little bit of a class, at the very least. But no subclass. Which is f***ed up. Why would you do that? You monster. Last difficulty mod is additional enemies, more encounters, and fights. It essentially just places more enemies on the map. All logical and lore friendly, like some Mind Flayers that survived an all-light crash, etc. Now let's look at some utility mods. Things that might make your life easier in a number of ways. First up is a must-have mod, Tutorial Chest Summoning. A convention that most mods follow is to give you items via a chest in the initial section of the game. The famous Tutorial Chest. But since you're most likely past that, you need this as a way to get to that chest. This mod allows you to summon said chest by utilizing the spell you gain when you crouch. That's it, simple. Improved UI is another essential mod. It adds small improvements to the UI, but its main use is shifting it a little bit and adding features to it for other mods. Baldur's Gate is a gorgeous game, so why the f*** is the camera so far away? If you play on a controller, it's almost like the more modern Dragon Age games, pretty much a third-person game, so I don't know why the keyboard and mouse layout zoom is so limited. With improved camera, you can get as close and as crazy with the camera as you want. Alternatively, you can even get fake first person alongside the WASD mod that allows you to really pretend it's first person. Even though it really isn't. Though honestly, again, I recommend just grabbing a controller if you want that up and close experience. It's native and it's good. It's a bit more cumbersome than the keyboard, but what are you gonna do? Transform into companions and NPCs, Ring of Metamorph is a crazy mod that allows you to take the appearance of any NPC and to shift the appearance of other NPCs around, allowing you to get up to some unholy shenanigans. So I was playing the game and noticed that I felt pretty slow. This was in fact because I was pretty slow, so I made this mod and now I'm not slow anymore, is what the mod author said. And honestly, the game's walking speed feels infuriatingly slow to me as well. So configure movement speed lets you finally respect your own time. It defaults to doubling your movement speed, but that is very much, as the title implies, configurable. There are a bunch of mods to allow you to autosave during whatever situation you desire. Start of combat, start of dialogue, every once in a while, when you go to the bathroom, when you inevitably f*** up, whenever. Wherever. We're meant to be together. Oh, you with me. That's the deal, my dear. Do be careful about the 1,000 of save files you will be generating though. Tired of looking like a chump? This mod doesn't fix that. But it can make your character look cooler by adding transmog to the game. That's right, the MMO solution to the oldest RPG quandary, to slay or to slay. Just in case you don't know what it means, transmog is given the appearance of a cool item to an item with better stats for the ultimate combination. Don't like having total control? More of a pillow princess? Well, Total AI Control is here to take control. You gain a spell that allows you to choose a ranged or melee AI to control your other party members during combat, so you can have even more downtime during the already dragged out combat segments. Yay! Taking pity on your enemies, the limitations of their women becoming a bit much? Well, just bring them back. After all, you have a bunch of revivifies with you, right? You can bring back your allies, so why not your foes too? What's the point, you ask? Shenanigans, my dear. Shenanigans.
Drow and goblins slaughtered the lot.
Great God, Helm. Allow us peace in this plane and beyond. Teach us care when we would be reckless.
Talking about shenanigans, full custom campaigns allows you to fully customize hirelings. Not only that, it gives you new spells that allow you to turn NPCs into hirelings. You could potentially build up your own army of Alfiras and unleash them upon the world. Make it hurt with their unquenchable thirst for death and woe. It's a visual joke I wanted to do, but I got lazy, so whatever. Minotaur's hireling. It's apropos of nothing. I just Minotaur's hireling. Emotes, Poses, and Tug Walk is a great mod that allows you to pose your characters and NPCs with spells however you want. Make them sit, lament, cheer, etc. It's great for screenshots and thumbnails and... what do you mean? Photo mode's already out? Oh yeah, I forgot, I wrote this ages ago. Fuck! Why bother with the limitations of Magic Mirror or Character Overhaul mods when you could do it yourself with Appearance Edit Enhanced? It allows you to change your appearance, your class, your race, and that of your companions on the fly. It gets weird sometimes if you change big things in a row, so be careful. Alternatively, there is also Magic Mirror menu that allows you to change tattoos and makeup, even allowing you to get some body tattoos. Let's be honest, D&D doesn't really start until level 3, until your subclass. Everything before that is the tutorial, so start at level 3 lets you skip straight ahead right to the fun. Are you a coward who rejects the brutal realities of combat and probably never played Dragon Age? Then Leyline Leela's Squeaky Soap is for you. It adds a soap item that upon interaction cleans up all the grime and blood off of you. Ever notice not all items get 2 tips when you look around? It's mostly because there are so many of those in game that your screen would become too cluttered, and the function would be useless when it comes to finding the actual useful stuff. But if you think you know better and are tired of missing items you are actually interested in, then More's More 2 tips will show you everything. Everything! The debug book is super powerful and learns own debugging too. It's a book item that pulls up a bunch of dialogue debug options upon interaction. It didn't work for me for some reason and I'm getting sick of this video, so whatever. You probably shouldn't even use it anyway, you just screw up your save. Yeah, that's the reason I'm not fixing this mod. For your benefit. Not because I'm lazy. Yeah, totally. I'm not lazy. Do you know how long this video took? Coming from D&D, Baldur's Gate is pretty simple to learn because you pretty much already know everything. But for a newcomer, I can imagine it must be tough. That's where BG3 for noobs, simpler terms, and cleaner descriptions comes in. I'm not sure how helpful this really is, but maybe it's a thing to keep in mind if you feel like playing with a newbie. The Ring of Morning Routine is an auto-buffer mod that likes you'd love to have in those Pathfinder games. It's not really necessary, IMO, but if you are a freak that min-maxes to that degree, or are playing in the insane difficulties, then I guess it makes sense. Though you don't really use spell slots for this, so it is cheating a little bit. You know what's stupid? Making your font f***ing gray when your background is black. Readable font for item descriptions makes the sensible choice and f***ing changes that because, yeah, not f***ing duh. Alright, that's it. I'll see you later. Reshades are usually mostly actually crap, either oversaturated or washed out, and always with way too much bloom. Still, they are an integral part of modern modding, so we have to look at them. Baldur's Gate does not have a dedicated reshade mod, rather most reshades use the generic 2 to apply their alterations. The installation of it is very simple, just download the thing, then text the appropriate executable, then select the right API for BG3, meaning DirectX, then load the ini file from the shader you have downloaded, and voila! I was actually surprised by some of these shaders, honestly. Also, all parameters of the shaders can be altered via this in-game interface, so keep that in mind if you dig some of these but think they need minor adjustments. Let's start off with some of that good darkness, appropriate for a Dirge playthrough. The Gritty Gate is exactly what it sounds like. If you want BG3 to be a bit edgier, I think this shader definitely does that without being too much, but while being much. Not my cup of black tea, but might be yours. Where's the sun gone? Now comparing this shader, Somber Skies, to the last one, yeah, I'd say this one is definitely too much. I can barely f***ing see myself. Somber indeed. Now, to counter the dark, let's add some light. Radiant Gate. Now this is the kind of bloom and contrast hell I've become accustomed to from Skyrim. Good to see the old traditions being kept alive. Pick this if you want the game to look more like a dream and if you think interiors just aren't dark enough and exteriors are just not blinding enough. Cherry Skies is very saturated and vibrant. Probably too much for some, but might be exactly what others are looking for. I dig it. Though personally, I think tuning some of these values down just a bit would make it better. BG3 could use some more color. Now, here's a crazy thing. We have cell shading cartoony shaders, and I kind of really dig them. Cartoon Reshade preset. I mean, look at this. Do I have to say anything? This looks awesome. I had no idea something like this was even possible. Like, it's amazing just because of how absurd it is alone. And again, I really dig it. Borderlands Day 3 Lamel. I wanted to make it even more similar, but I failed. Aw, buddy. No, you did a great job. No, seriously, I really love this. It's so cool and different. Now, our second toon shader, Dragon and Dungeons, is meant to call back to old animated fantasy films. And the colors do actually remind me a lot of the old D&D show. Now, the only problem with both of these shaders is that the contours they add somehow also affect the UI. Actually, a lot of things that the shaders change do also affect the UI, by the way. It's really weird. But the contours in particular make the UI readability actually a bit worse, which is a damn shame because, again, I really like them. Still, cool as heck. Okay, let's end the shader segment by looking at some more subdued shaders. Less intense or stylized stuff. Shaders that want to just improve the vanilla experience and not create something completely new. Clarity Reshade. This one is just a slight alteration that comes in two forms. One that maintains the original game's warm tone, and one that changes it to a cooler tone. Both variations increase the game's contrast and make the colors a bit less washed out. Definitely one of the more subdued ones, and I think an overall improvement color-wise to the original game. Now, for Dynamic Reshade, I'll just read you the description. Corrected colors, vibrance, black levels, removed ugly green tint, nice. And yeah, it does all that. Lucid, a minimalist reshade. Minimalist indeed, this one adds a tint to counteract the game's own slight tint, again. But while looking at it, I actually thought that it was a bit too washed out. But the thing is, it isn't, it's just that the previous shaders I was looking at were so freaking intense that by comparison it just felt that way. But no, it's actually pretty good. Or at least better than the main game. Now, there's definitely a pattern on these last ones here, right? Just a lot of people removing the f***ing tint and washed out appearance of the original game, huh? And if you hadn't noticed those things before, now you do, and it's gonna bother the heck out of you. But hey, the fix is just a few clicks away. Alright, let's chill out for a second and let's appreciate a simpler type of mod. One that changes something very small, but also very ever-present in the game. Or D20. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of that old thing. I want some new, shiny, click-clack math rocks. First up is the Solemn Stained Glass Dice. Comes in 2 colors and is perfect for clerics and paladins. Iridescent Pearl Dice reflects all the colors of the rainbow and looks oh so shiny. And another iridescent dice is Metallic Iridescent Dice, which looks so cool with the way the material reflects and plays around with the colors. The 20 is also the BG3 logo, I think? I can't quite tell, to be honest. Click-clack more like split-splat. You really gotta get in the bloody mood for the Dirge playthrough. And this Dirge dice is perfect for that, with a nice blood moon for a 20 and a skull for a 1. Magic Peculiar Dice offers a selection of very pretty dice. The solid gold one is a personal favorite of mine, but just like IRL, those cool crystal semi-translucent ones are also awesome. There's also some cool dice for nice frames, from the stately to the zany, cool wibbly wobbly magical goodness. There are also dice themed around fire and so on, lots of options here. Crystal Collection is a small handful of crystal math rocks, reads the description of this mod. Unlike the last set, these dice are way more opaque and less vibrant crystal math rocks. I also like the fun in the numbers. Dice Rainbow Dark is... Dice Rainbow Dark. Doing a frosting character, a cryomancer, maybe a white dragonborn, ice dice will fit you perfectly. Besides also just looking dope. You walk into a dungeon, but you can't hear sounds all around you, slithering, crawling, vile. What do you fireball? The answer is fireball. The answer is always fireball. If I asked you about bandits holding villagers hostage, the answer would still be fireball, so here it is, fireball dice. For the only right answer. I love Drow, so here's some Underdark dice that are perfect for them. For the 20 is a moon for the Seldarine, and for the 1 is a spider for the Dark Seldarine. You know, loaf and all that goodness. This next mod makes your dice honest by turning your 1s into fuck me, and 20s into fuck you. It also comes in several aesthetics, so you have a lot of choices to choose from. Aurora Borealis is one of the best looking dice on this list, I think. I just love the colors and how they blend. Our last mod is the Marvelous Dice set with 2 cool ass Monster Eye dice, 2 very elegant ones, and 1 baby's first edgy die. It is absurd and a scandal that Karlach is not featured in the promotional image of the game. What do you mean the best girl is nowhere to be seen? Well, now we can correct this, however. That's it. That's the mod. This is not meant to be an insult, but Asterion fans kind of have that middle-aged romance novel woman energy, and this here is peak middle-aged woman energy, and I'm all here for it. You can wear the Phantom suit yourself, though the mask was made to fit Asterion's face type, so that's something to keep in mind. And you can also play the Phantom's Fiend. That's it. Do you sometimes wish that BG3 was like another game entirely? Well, some people do. So let's explore those combos of mods. Okay, so what if BG3 was Dragon Age? First, we have the Origins font mod, which I think actually looks amazing here. Definitely has more personality than BG3's standard font. In terms of equipment, all we have here is Fenris's armor, or rather a mix of other armors that are inspired by Fenris's armor. But to help with your cosplay, we can get Fenris's tattoos as well, with Dragon Age tattoos. This mod also had tattoos from other Dragon Age characters like Meru and Zevran. And this is not even the only Dragon Age tattoo mod around. There's a bunch, which makes sense because that series always had great tattoo designs, probably because of the Valsins and stuff. Still on Zevran, we have his beautiful body tattoos available. We also have the intimidating Qunari face tattoos, and finally, Hawk's iconic blood swipe. Okay, for our next game, which technically isn't a game, it's a mod, but it might as well be a game and the role. We surprisingly have 2 mods here from 2 people who never moved on from it. Andro menu music overhaul, and Andro font replacer. But to be honest, I don't actually really like this one. It's just the font for Andro is not that great. And let's just move on, because if I think too hard about the fact that we're never getting a follow-up for Andro, I'm gonna cry. So let's move on from games to actual play series. Critical Role is the obvious first choice, but not only because it's popular, but because some of the extra material for the TTRPG is extremely popular even outside of the setting, because Matthew Mercer knows what he's doing.
Seem to shiver and quiff.
And yeah, I'm of course first talking about the Blood Hunter. If you don't know the class, it's about doing damage by using your blood to give yourself powerful buffs and your enemies powerful debuffs. It also comes with 2 subclasses, the Ghost Slayer, which is self-explanatory, and the Hybrid, which lets you become a werewolf. Next, we have 2 fighter subclasses. First, the Exandrian Gunslinger, aka the Percival the Rolo Macintosh Funny Pants Gobblesnapper III Special. The class is extremely simple. It's a ranged fighter that revolves around your trick shots, which are bonus action buffs to your attacks that utilize the Grit resource. There are 9 different trick shots you slowly gain as you level up. Next, we have the Echo Knight Fighter subclass. I won't showcase this one visually in the game because again, I'm on patch 6, and this mod has changed a lot since that patch was around. It's way better now, so I feel like showing you the old version would be a disservice to it, but overall, the mod works exactly like it does in the TTRPG. You summon an echo of yourself, you can switch places with it, you can attack, etc. And the mod just really looks good and complete visually, with cool icons and this cool effect on the echo. Definitely grab it. Now let's talk about something for the Critical Role series itself, the Vestiges of Divergence. This mod adds the classical legendary items showed in the Vox Machina campaign with their item effects. They also increase in power once you reach certain levels, unlocking more of their abilities so that they aren't too overpowered right out of the gate. The Baldur's Gate? This is my video, do whatever dumb joke I f***ing want. Fuck you. Now, the models of the items themselves are just some generic ones from the game, sadly. So it's nice to just dagger all the way through. There's also a mod with Craven Edge that I couldn't get to work, so there you go. Next up is Dimension 20, which only has 1 mod to speak of. Adain's Furious Fist allows you to unleash the kind of extreme inner rage only an anxiety-ridden child could directly onto the face of your most hated foes. It's really powerful. You use a spell, and for the duration of it, you can attack with a bonus action using your fists, and for the damage, it's a D20, just like in the show, so, you know. Aside from that mod, I guess you can also get these guitar mods and pretend to be Fig or something. There's 3 guitar mods, one of them being an axe from the Doomslayer that doubles as both an instrument and a weapon, and another called Guitars that has 3 new guitars that also change the tune of the lute instrument so that they do actually sound like real guitars. And there's another guitar by the same author, which, well, you can have a look at it yourself. Yeah, it's a flesh guitar. Durge's flesh guitar, to be precise. Jesus. Okay, so here's some stuff I was supposed to put in previous sections, but couldn't for video making logistic reasons. If you haven't watched the VAs of the companions playing the tabletop game, you should! Doubly so now that Bing Bong has been officially canonized with the Bing Bong Summon mod, and with Karlach's Animal Training mod, which all reference things that happened during those sessions. Veils are awesome. They look sexy, mysterious, and just straight up cool. Veils of Faerun adds a variety of veils to character creation, and they even have gravity enabled. Not only that, they're compatible with every race. Can you believe it? They do use the Teowen or Beard's Life, just so you know. There's also even an optional passive you can download that automatically removes veils during romance scenes, to avoid all the possible clipping. Just an all-around incredible mod, one of the best IMO. Bugbear's Vigor. The wearer is permanently hastened, applies wet when armed attack damage for a short time. Equipping or removing the ring causes lethargy for a short time. The peddler of this trinket must have made exaggerated claims about everlasting stamina and libido, but at what cost? This is the mod Ring of Lube. Do you prefer when things are small and manageable rather than massive and unwieldy? Think size is overrated? A fan of small packages? Look, I know there's a lot of penis mods, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this one mod. I only got one question for you. Oh, thou nasty? Yeah, you are. So here are some booty shorts for you. I don't think this works anymore, didn't for me, but you know, look at this. How could I not mention it? So, this was the last modding video. What's the verdict of the modding scene then? Well, there has never been a worse hive of scum and villainy. A godless environ made up of horny perverts, detail freaks, math nerds, cheaters, and basic girlies. And by God, I wouldn't have it any other way. Except for that white wheel guy and the one that tried to remove all gay people. Fuck those guys. Ultimate was very successful. A lot of the modern Avenger mythos even comes from it. But what political edge he had eventually blunted and it just became cheap shock value, which Marvel Editorial doubled down on as a vibe mandate if you will, making the Ultimate comics be consistently very unpleasant. There was cannibalism, incest, and just a lot of yuck. This all culminated on Ultimatum, one of comics' most infamous events, which killed and violated many characters and left the Ultimate Universe struggling along with a severe storytelling and financial limp it never recovered from.